live to Ohsweken Speedway here on G-Force TV as tonight Renway Energy presents a full night of action with all four divisions here at the Big O. I'm Greg Kellman, with me Adam Ross. Clinton Jeffrey will be trackside as we're ready to go racing. First up tonight, we've got the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks. 3 heats in total, 23 cars here tonight. And here's how they'll line up for heat race number 1. From the pole out of Brantford, car 13, Casey Huffman. Alongside of him out of Thorold, car 11, Go Fast Teeple. Starting in third out of Hamilton, the 43 is Kyle Andrus. To his outside from Hagersville, the 75 of Ryan Berry. Back in the 5th spot from Binbrook, the 427 is Tim Phelan. And going from 6th from Jerseyville, it's Logan Schwedick in the 53. Mike Thorne is on the inside in the 7th starting spot. He's from Caledonia in the 55. And Mark McDonald out of Lucan, Ontario, is in the 2M. He'll start from the 8th spot. 8 cars, 8 laps the distance. All cars qualified tonight for the feature event. Casey Huffman with a new look this week. Has that green number 13 after problems 1 week ago on his machine. Out in front, though, it's Go Fast Teeple over Logan Schwedick down into corner number 3. Schwedick around the outside of Teeple as they work it off of corner number 4 at the line. Schwedick's going to lead the lap over Teeple. Phelan giving chase back there in the 427. How about Mike Thorne moves up from the back row? He's up to the 4th spot now.
This is as sporty as Logan Schwedick or Go Fast Teeple have looked for the last number of weeks, I'd say, Greg. It's been a tough season for both of those drivers.
Yeah, this heat here has been some drivers that have had some misfortune throughout the year and put them in this third, make the first qualifying heat, but definitely nowhere near the fast car heat just yet. But some very good drivers, good equipment, and a couple of them showing some good runs right now as Logan Schwedick carries it off of corner 4 out to the wall and completes lap 3.
4 wide at the back of the field, racing for that 5th position. That was impressive to watch as Kyle Andrus drops back a little bit. Now it's only a 3 wide battle, barely worth mentioning.
Teeple and Phelan back there in that 2nd spot with Mike Thorne chasing them down as they come across the stripe. 4 in, 4 to go for leader Logan Schwedick here in the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks.
Tim Phelan has shown a lot of speed in that 427 out there in recent weeks. And this is one division where you don't want to call it the slow car, fast car heat, but that is how it's set up. Cars that haven't had the best luck the last few weeks, you'll see them in the first heat. That's also how they will line up in the feature. So all the cars that transfer through this heat and qualify, which I believe is the top 7, will start 1st through 7th. Anyone we see in the next heat will not start in the top 7. Similarly, in heat number 3, they won't start in the top 14.
Huge advantage right now for Logan Schwedick in that Advantage Electric number 53 as he heads down the backstretch. Teeple holding down 2nd with Phelan and Thorne back there 2nd through 4th, and then it's Berry, McDonald, Huffman, and Andrus still all going at it.
Solid 4-car battle at the back. Mike Thorne charged through the field in that first lap, made some great moves, then kind of stalled out in the 4th spot. Logan Schwedick, however, did not stall out. Took the lead at the start, drove away in that number 53, and he's going to take the win by half a straightaway over Go Fast Teeple, who will come home in 2nd. Phelan going to finish 3rd, followed by Mike Thorne. Great side-by-side for 4th. It'll be Berry over McDonald, Andrus, and Casey Huffman.
Beautiful night here at the Big O, and I'll tell you what, when we got here earlier on tonight, there were some storm clouds off to the northwest, and the radar didn't look too promising, but everything broke up. The sun is out, and a beautiful night for racing here, and it looks like by things on the radar, we should be good to go throughout the evening as we get ready for heat race number 2. On the pole from Ohsweken, the 93, Melissa Miller. To the outside from Hagersville, the 3, that's Devin Bacher. Lining up in the 3rd spot from Caister Center, the 28 is Jim Lampman. To his outside from Ohsweken, the 24, Blake Bombery Jr. Rolling off 5th is Ken Sargent. He's from Hamilton in the 25. And alongside him from Burlington, the 97, Ron Logie. And back in the back row, starting in 7th from Hagersville, the 93K, Mike Klazinga. And going from 8th from Caister Center, the 28D of Donnie Lampman.
Does it strike you as odd that Melissa Miller always winds up in the same heat as Mike Klazinga, and Jim Lampman seems to always wind up in the same heat as Donnie Lampman?
It's where they always seem to be, and Melissa ends up pole. a lot of times as well, it seems, in that number 93. She's had a very solid season, just not maybe the results because of some of that misfortune we've talked about, but car's been very good, and I think this has been a season for Melissa where she's stepped up to that next level.
I'd say that's accurate. It's a real ladder that you have to climb to get good in these Thunderstocks as they race 4 wide into turn 3. Kenny Sargent on the inside. Jim Lampman, one of the cars in the middle, then Melissa Miller. It was Ron Logie. Now it's Donnie Lampman to the outside as Ken Sargent makes a little bit of contact with Melissa Miller down into the turn.
Got caught on your braces. Devin Bacher out in front as he works off a corner number 4 over Bomberry. Then it's Logie and Donnie Lampman right there. Jim Lampman trying to get the 5th spot. He had the hard time getting up from the back of the pack, but here he is charging on the top 5.
Well, look at that. The top 6 right together further back. Now, Mike Klazinga in the 93 at the very back. He's been quick the last month or so not sure what's up with that machine tonight. Melissa Miller in the other 93. She's fallen out of that lead pack, but up at the front, 6 cars, all within about 6 car lengths of each other. Devin Bacher, who hasn't had a lot of fortune. In fact, I'm surprised he wasn't in the first heat with the bad luck he's had in recent weeks.
Just about to comment, it's good to see Devin Bacher up there and running strong because he's had a lot of mechanical problems, it seems, this year, that it's kept him towards the back. But that 3 car looks mighty powerful tonight as they work down the back stretch door to door.
He's got to be careful here. He was pinching Blake Bomberry down. He leaves the outside open for Donnie Lampman. Lampman going to swing it to the outside in that 28 machine and look for the lead. He's got the lead at the stripe.
Wow, what a power move by Donnie Lampman on the outside. He'll lead off of corner number 2 as they go down the backstretch. Bacher in second. Then it's Bomberry and Jim Lampman. He gets pinched up towards the wall there on the backstretch. Bomberry swings out to the high side as it's 2 laps left to go and plenty of action here amongst the top 6.
Devin Bacher was all focused on Blake Bomberry in the 24, and he did a good job of keeping Bomberry behind him. He just left an opportunity for Donnie Lampman. Lampman took it. Now Bomberry going to try the inside again as they work down into turn number 3. He'll nose ahead into the turn, but Bacher has the run coming off.
White flag out for Donnie Lampman. Bacher and Bomberry right there, 2nd and 3rd. Logie holding back there in the 4th spot. Right behind him is Ken Sargent, and Jim Lampman, I think he's got a left front flat on that car. He's dropped back out of the top 6.
Yeah, he is off the pace as Melissa Miller looks to the inside. Mike Klazinga to the middle. Jim Lampman out of contention for this one. Donnie Lampman takes the win over Bacher, Bomberry, Logie, Sargent, Klazinga, Lampman, and Miller.
So 2 heats in the books, 1 more to go here for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks. Another 8 laps, and going from the pole in this one from Hagersville in the 23. Trevor DeBoer to his outside. He's got a feature win this year from Ancaster. The 19 is Kyle Wirt. Going from 3rd, it's Christopher Hale out of Guelph, Ontario in the 79. And to his outside from Canfield, the 32 is Mark Fawcett. Going from 5th, he's the point leader from Hagersville, the 49 of Dave Bailey. And to his outside, winner last week, 2 wins on the season from Victoria, the 84 RK. That is Ryan Beagle. And starting in the 7th and final spot in car number 48 from Ohsweken, the machine of Lyle White. There's Lyle White in the 48 tonight.
I've decided for the first time in ages to open up our YouTube stream on GeForce TV so I can follow along with the chat. For better or worse, Greg?
Last week, no, I think it was 2 weeks ago when we got on the Scott Hall thing. That got a little carried away.
We get carried away?
No, not at all. Here they go, 3 or 4 wide down the backstretch there. As I thought they were going to make it 5 at the moment there, but Trevor DeBoer stays out in front as they work off the corner. Now they're 4 wide coming to the flag.
Dave Bailey to the inside. Christopher Hale, Mark Fawcett, Ryan Beagle up on the high side. Kyle Wirt going to get the advantage coming off at turn number 2. Ryan Beagle going to follow through behind using that high line.
Here comes Ryan Beagle right behind Kyle Wirt. A couple of feature race winners here in 2022. Chris Hale, Trevor DeBoer, and Mark Fawcett behind them along with Dave Bailey, and they tangle.
Chris Hale goes around, gets that car pointed in the right direction, loses a lot of ground to the leaders. Kyle Wirt continues to lead the way, but Ryan Beagle got to be riding some confidence after passing Dave Bailey on the last lap to score the win last week in what was one of the best Thunder Car races I think I've watched.
Tommy Googe pointed out an interesting stat. This is the first season that Ryan Beagle's ever won 2 feature races in a season. He won in 2017, 18, and 19. 1 win in each year. And this year, the first time to double up, and he's really been one of the cars to beat. And another interesting fact, his first ever win was a Brock Leonard Memorial, so you can't get a bigger win than that in the Thunderstocks.
Nope, long races on a slick track. That's right up Ryan Beagle's alley. That shocks me, actually, that he has never won more than 1 race in a season until this year.
Here he is, tucked in behind Kyle Wirt as they go by the lap car of White. Wirt riding the high side. Here comes Beagle, gets a run down to the inside off of corner number 2. They'll go door to door into 3.
He'll drive it right down to the bottom. Is he going to slide him? No, he keeps the car pinched down, rolls onto the throttle. Kyle Wirt by a nose at the line.
2 laps left to go. Beagle back down the bottom, and oh, look who's behind them now. Dave Bailey has caught the top 2. Lap and a half to go.
You can see what Beagle's doing, driving the car in really hard. This time he got a push. He had been driving it in hard, getting it loose, so he could get back to the throttle quickly. He's trying to get it pointed down the next straightaway as quickly as he can, but he's lost the front end and it developed a push, and now he's got to deal with Dave Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey down there on the inside as they work it into 3 and 4 for the final time. Coming to the checkered flag. Does Dave Bailey have something for the leader?
Dave Bailey does not. In fact, he loses that second spot to Beagle. Fawcett going to finish 4th, and it's DeBoer and Christopher Hale. Rounding out the field, it's Lyle White in the 48. We're going to have a replay of the Lyle White spin. No, the Christopher Hale spin. Yeah, I think Fawcett might have got into the corner of him there, and Hale just didn't have a chance to gather it back up. Thankfully, Fawcett gave him a chance. Yeah, there was contact.
Ever so slight, but just enough. All right, ready to go. The Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack merchandising 360 sprint cars. 27 cars in total here tonight. Heat race 1 on the track, starting from the pole out of Lewiston, New York. The 81, Derek Jonathan. To his outside is Liam Martin from Bibbenbrook in car number 9. Starting in 3rd from Mount Bridges, the 45, Nick Sheridan. To his outside from Picton, the 84 is Tyler Rand. Pulling off 5th out of Mississauga is the highlight man, Mac DeMann in the 17X. And going from 6th, it's Aaron Turkey out of Ohsweken in the 68. Rolling off 7th out of Brantford, the Little Bend 110, that's Jake Brown. And going from the 8th spot from Beamsville in the 88H, it's Josh Hansen. And starting in the 9th and final spot from Caister Center, the 11 is Jamie Turner. Good to see Josh Hansen getting things going after missing the feature, the B main last week, and losing a lot of ground on the point standings. But good to see that J&E Recovery, Julie Swayze Remax 88H back on track tonight.
Back on track, and he was fast in practice. I believe he was in the top 5 in practice. When I looked, he was 3rd, but there was still one group to go. So he's back. They've got some speed, and it's time to go qualifying with the 360 sprint cars.
Here they come for their first green flag of the night. 3 qualifying heats in total. We are on it. Liam Martin on the outside of Derek Jonathan down into 1.
Mac DeMann tries to squeeze to the inside, and Nick Sheridan. Sheridan fended him off, but only briefly. Look at Todd Hoddick, the run on the outside, and Mac DeMann with a big run on the bottom.
Here they come off of corner number 4. Liam Martin, your leader at the line, over Mac DeMann, Derek Jonathan, and then it's Nick Sheridan, the 84 of Tyler Rand, and Josh Hansen digging on the bottom, gets his way to the top 5, now challenging for 4th.
Oh, what a fool. I called Tyler Rand Todd Hoddick. My bad.
Same colors.
Yeah, it was Tyler Rand with a big run, an impressive run, but gave up that spot, runs back in the 6th spot. Fantastic battle for 3rd. Derek Jonathan has the position. Josh Hansen and Nick Sheridan, remember these two swapped some big old slide jobs just a couple of weeks ago as Josh Hansen got his first win.
Oh, troubles for Mac DeMann up in corner number 2, and he'll take the car to the pit area. Not sure what happened, but something broke, and he immediately made the hard right to the pits.
Josh Hansen gets underneath Nick Sheridan, slides up in front.
Josh has got a rocket ship tonight. That car is on a move. Started in 8th, challenging for 2nd.
Slider line down into 3, slides to the outside. Nick Sheridan going to clear the 88 at the stripe. Now they'll cross over once again down into 1 and 2. Slide job.
And back comes Nick Sheridan down the backstretch. He'll take 2nd back. He goes up top. Josh Hansen down to the bottom. Here they come off of 4. Sheridan has the spot with 2 to go. 2
laps left out in front. It is all Liam Martin. What a bunch of youngsters in the top 3. Liam Martin, Nick Sheridan, Josh Hansen. You put their ages, add them all together, they don't amount to what Jamie Turner's got in turn number 3.
Oh, and troubles for the leader, Liam Martin, up at corner number 2. He'll gather it back up. He'll keep his sizable lead as they come down to the checkered flag. Martin holds on for the win over Nick Sheridan. Then it's Josh Hansen 3rd. At the line, Jonathan gets 4th over Jake Brown. Then it's Rand, Turner, and Turkey, with Mac Demand bringing up the tail with the early exit to the pit area. And watching that fight between Nick Sheridan and Josh Hansen back and forth in the slide jobs took us back a few weeks to Josh's first feature win.
And make no mistake, Nick Sheridan did not see eye to eye with that move. He didn't like the move. In fairness, neither did Josh Hansen. Josh Hansen knew that he had overstepped a little bit. Didn't stop him from making the move. Let's look at Liam Martin's moment there on the last lap. Just gets up over the cushion. Has the wherewithal to gather himself in, get back on the racetrack. We're going to see 3 Nitro 54 sprint cars here tonight. Liam Martin, Dan Nanakoke, and point leader Ryan Turner.
Well, 2nd place now. He lost the point lead one week ago, but he's still up there in the thick of it. Heat race 2 on the track, starting from the pole out of Port Colborne. The 5D as Jacob Dykstra hit to his outside in car number 13 from Tilsonburg. The point leader, Corey Turner. Pulling off 3rd out of Kirstal, Victoria, Australia. Car number 20 is Braden Cooley. And from the 4th spot out of Cheektowaga, New York, the 94, that's Todd Hoddick. Starting in 5th, it's Mikey Krutchka from Hamilton, the 01K. And his outside from Dunville in the 15, that is Ryan Turner. Starting in 7th out of Fenwick in the 14H, Jim Hoopinen. And going from 8th in car number 70, it's Bailey Hurd out of Niagara Falls. And in the back spot in the 9th starting position from Brantford, the 27, is Paul Ballantyne.
I have been asked if I will be singing Christmas carols tonight. That's only if Mariah Carey comes on. I'll sing harmonies. Darren Shawcross. Don't even think about it.
You're such a good singer that we can't have you sing it because we'll get dinged with a copyright strike. So, or everybody on the staff will go on strike. It's one or the other.
Sadly, I only know dirty Christmas songs.
Oh my goodness. Here we go. Braden Cooley out in front, and you got Corey Turner right behind him, along with Jacob Dykstra. Good fight there for the 2nd spot.
A little bit of ripples down on the bottom of the racetrack. We haven't seen much of that this year as Corey Turner gets all out of shape in turn number 2. Jacob Dykstra had to get woed up to avoid contact. That sort of bottled up the front of this field. Everybody but Braden Cooley.
Cooley's got the lead. Had a good, strong performance in his heat last week as well, but didn't draw very well in the redraw for the feature. So trying to get that GSR car another heat race win and maybe a better redraw here tonight.
Jim Hoopinen not in attendance last Friday night. He was road racing, of all things, on pavement.
Yeah, down at Shannonville.
Silly thing to do.
Halfway home, 4 in, 4 to go for Braden Cooley. Over Corey Turner, Jacob Dykstra, Jim Hoopinen, and Ryan Turner in that 15 machine.
Oh, Hoopinen makes contact with Jacob Dykstra, 360. Gathers it back in. Now Mikey Krutchka is backwards up in turn number 2. That will bring the yellow. So this might be good fortune for Jim Hoopinen. He might get his spot back when they go back to the last completed lap. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah, I think he is. He's making the move here towards getting it back.
Replay. Down into the corner, Dykstra gets a little bit loose. Hoopinen was right behind him, caught him in the tail tank. Great job of driving by Jacob Dykstra not to go around.
Good job by Jim Hoopinen. Just keep foot in the throttle, and off he goes down the backstretch. And I think for Mikey Krutchka, it was just a situation of hooping and going around, and he tried to get up to the top side and get out of the way, and the car hooked around there.
Ron is watching from Knoxville Raceway tonight, cheering on teammate Dylan Westbrook and Sean Evans, but he called him Shoney Evans, and that made me think of Shoney's restaurant.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh, isn't it? I see, I knew.
I love that place.
Last week we were talking about Ponderosa and the ground round. This week it's Shoney's.
That every year we went to Bristol twice a year, and on the way down, because they're down in the more southern states and Virginia, we'd hit up at least one Shoney's on the way. Those trigger words.
Right? We can't complain. We've got Burger Barn up here, and I'll take that every day of the week, but Shoney's is special.
Here we go, back to the green flag with Braden Cooley. He's got that car hooked up here over the last couple of weeks. Corey Turner, the point leader, right behind him.
Jacob Dykstra goes to the high side. Ryan Turner down low as they race down the backstretch. Todd Hoddick, who was lightning fast in practice, not showing that same speed here in the heat as we've got 2 laps to go.
All Braden Cooley over Corey Turner. The battle right now is for the 3rd spot. Here comes Ryan Turner. Takes that Nitro 54 variety number 15 to the 3rd spot. Now challenging his brother, coming to the white flag.
One more time around. Ryan Turner in the 3rd spot. Looking for 2nd. Corey Turner kind of steals his line, but Corey gets squirrely off of turn number 2. Here comes Ryan Turner to the bottom.
Here they come off of 4. Cooley will pick up another heat race win at the line. It's going to be Corey Turner over Ryan Turner. Then it's Jacob Dykstra, Jim Hoopin, and Todd Hoddick. Then Bailey Hurd, Mikey Krutchka, and Paul Ballantyne, the running order at the completion of heat race number 2 for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars.
Let's say hello to our fans from Red Deer, Indiana. Someone eating a fried chicken sandwich, which I'm happy for them. And Young and Bloor. That's not a hot spot. There was a time when some great race car drivers came out of Toronto. Warren Coniam, Norm Macareth. There were some phenomenal racers. You don't think of downtown Toronto as a hot spot for racing anymore.
They're Adam Ross fans. It's the fan club. It's growing exponentially every week. You're into the metropolis, Adam.
Adam Ross is growing every week.
All right, 3rd qualifying heat on the racetrack, going from the pole in the 15N tonight. That'll be Dan Nanakok out of Ohsweken. To the outside of him, from right here in corner number 2, it's the Ohsweken Flyer, Glenn Stiers, in car number 0. Starting in 3rd from Beachville in car number 5, DJ Christie. And going from 4th out of Scotland, it's Sean Evans in the 87X. Starting in 5th from Brantford, it's downtown Mitch Brown in car number 10. And riding to his outside in car number 90 from Grimsby, it's Travis Cunningham. Starting in 7th out of St. Williams, the 21 of John Burbridge Jr. Starting in 8th from Dorchester, car number 1 of Holly Porter. And starting in 9th from Wilsonville in the 94X, it's Scott Hall.
Can't do it. Can't do it every time.
Come on.
I can't do it every time. Special occasions.
Yeah.
You've got to open up your YouTube, because we've got to get these shout outs going. I mean, St. Thomas, Pennsylvania, Texas, Australia, Simcoe. Let's go green flag racing.
Nanakok and Stiers wheel to wheel down into corner number 1. Stiers will roll the top and take the top spot away as here comes Mitch Brown to the bottom to 2nd.
Wow, Glenn Stiers out in front using the Glenn Stiers line up high. He'll lead them off of turn number 4. Mitch Brown 2nd. Then it's Nanakok, Christie, Sean Evans, and Travis Cunningham.
Oh, close call back there with John Burbridge and Holly Porter as they race side by side. Out in front, it's Glenn Stiers, Mitch Brown, Dan Nanakok, and then this battle with DJ Christie, Sean Evans, and Travis Cunningham.
Glenn Stiers has not been pleased with the season he's having behind the wheel of that 0 machine. They've not been Glenn Stiers quite type results. Mitch Brown closing in that 10 machine, and a great battle for 3rd.
Oh, Stiers over the banking at 2. Oh, just keeps it off the wall.
Yowzers.
Give Mitch Brown the lead as they come to the cross flags. 4 in, 4 to go for downtown Mitch Brown over Glenn Stiers, DJ Christie, and then the pack.
Dan Nanakok did the same thing out there, getting up off the racetrack and found himself right in the midst of a hornet's nest when he came back on. Out in front, it's Mitch Brown by a straightaway over Stiers. DJ Christie by himself in 3rd. Then we got a battle for 4th. Holly Porter on the bottom, and Sean Evans.
Yeah, Holly Porter started back in the 8th spot. She's got that GSR number 1 pedaling From the back now, trying to challenge on Sean Evans as they go into 3. 2 laps left to go for leader Glenn Stiers. Make that Mitch Brown, sorry.
It's a Holly Porter kind of racetrack right now. Get that wing up, run around the bottom, and it can generate some speed because everybody running the top is really struggling in 1 and 2 as the white flag comes out for Mitch Brown.
Brown works by Scott Hall down to the corner, down the backstretch he goes. Glenn Stiers in second, Christie holding down third as we come to the checkered flag in heat race number 3.
Brown scores the win. Glenn Stiers recovers for second. DJ Christie going to bring it home third. Then it's Sean Evans fourth. Holly Porter fifth. Travis Cunningham sixth in the 90. John Burbridge Jr. seventh in the 21. Then it's Dan Nanakoke and Scott Hall. I'll do it again. Just can't do it every time. What was my line?
Never mind. The moment has passed.
Hey, yo.
Nailed it.
I can't stand seeing you disappointed, Greg.
Why, you do weekly.
I know. I don't usually look. Question, is Glenn Stiers not running GP3R? Silly Wade. There's an airplane waiting for him.
And it's not till Sunday, right? They'll probably practice tomorrow, but...
Yep. Yeah, I practiced in qualifying. Oh, cool. Die-hard racing fan. Used to go to Barrie Speedway. I loved Barrie Speedway. Bonnie, I am not Santa Claus tonight. But I do deliver. All right, mini stocks. Paul Longboat on the pole on the 188 from Ohsweken. Mike Evers alongside out of Caledonia in the 265. Row number 2 from Hagersville, the 26 is Tim Newell, and I cannot believe this. From Waterdown, the 01 in the same car that clobbered the backstretch wall last time out, Tristan De Silva. Little Robbie Twitchett from Cambridge drives the 69. Mike Giberson, the pinball from Caledonia in the 11. The 11E is Jeff Elsliger. Jason Tolton in the 1 from Guelph. Don Deagle from Hamilton in the 12. And Ashton Dickey from Brantford in the 1A.
Ashton announcing today he's going to be moving up to Thunderstock, so he's looking to get that number 1 off to a new owner here soon. We'll put it that way.
There you go. Out in front, it's Mike Evers with Tristan De Silva running second. Tristan's father / crew chief / hauler driver, Mark De Silva, putting in the hours this week, getting that 01 back in race shape, and it looks to be up to the task.
Mike Evers has had some good runs in the qualifying heats this year, but some real bad misfortune in the features, and a few times not anything to do with him, just wrong place, wrong time. He's out in front right now for De Silva, Longboat, and Giberson.
Jeff Elsliger, Jeff Elsliger in that 11 is battling with Jason Tolton, and there's something that he's been missing this season, and he is going to learn, Greg. Changing lanes on the straightaway results in bad things.
Sorry, I don't like spiders, if anyone heard that. I was trying to turn the lights off.
Wouldn't it be funny if all the lights flickered?
Evers loses power down the backstretch, and here come the rest of the leaders to get around him.
De Silva to the inside, Jason Tolton to the high side. They'll race through for first and second. Elsliger gets through for third. Mike Evers back to fourth. We saw this before. It did that, and then it cured itself. So no idea what's going on with the Mike Evers 265.
Jason Tolton out in front. He's another good story because his car was mangled pretty bad there in that wreck that Friday night, and here he is out in front in that vacuum truck's number 1 coming to the white flag.
One more time around for Tolton. He's out front all alone. Look at the battle for 5th spot. 4 cars going for that position. Mike Giberson in the 11. He'll slide up the track into Longboat. Just behind them it's Rob Twitchett with nowhere to go. Ashton Dickey and now Don Deagle closing in. Who's going to get that 5th spot?
Here we come to the checkered flag. Tolton takes the win over De Silva, Elsliger. Evers grabs 4th, and at the line it's going to be Longboat. Wow. Close call there. Twitchett will go to the B main, along with Giberson, Dickey, and Deagle. We had a shout out tonight. This was from Ashton Dick. He says, a good friend of mine. Their family has come all the way from Holland to spend time here for the rest of the summer. They're huge motorsport fans and are coming to the track tonight. So those folks from Holland, Christian, and Ellen Van Dam, welcome to Ohsweken Speedway. We are happy to have you here tonight.
I hope they have a Van Dam good time. Heat race number 2 on the pole from Brantford, the 64 is Nick Erskine, alongside from Smithville, the 6X is Mike Sarantakos. Dusty DeBoer is from Hagersville, he'll start 3rd. Christopher French in the 54 from Stratford starts 4th. Steve Miller rolling off 5th from Paris. Wade Thorne out of Waterford will start 6th in the number 4. Tim DeBoer drives the number 9, he's from York, he's going to start 7th. Starting 8th from Burlington, the 10J is Jeremy Hughes. Starting 9th from Ancaster, the 16 is Fabio Oliveri. Rounding out the top 10 from Smithville, the 51 is Eric York.
Here we go. Green flag goes up in the air. Sarantakos will jump out to the early lead, heading down into corner 1 with Erskine down on the bottom. Dusty DeBoer right behind the 64 of Erskine as they go down the back stretch. Wade Thorne in that 4 machine, you can see he's got a head of steam, but Christopher French right there in front of him. He'll have to blow up a bit, now changes lanes.
Wade Thorne had a big win a couple of weeks ago up at Sauble Speedway. I believe it paid $2,000 to win the combined 4s race. Different car that he runs up there, but same ferocious competitive spirit. That's a long haul from Waterford to Sauble.
Everything's a long haul to Sauble.
This is true.
Sarantakos, Erskine, and French on the bottom down into corner number 1. The lead battle as they go 3 wide through the corner. Dusty DeBoer now's gone up top looking for some racing room in that 23.
Yeah, DeBoer got a big run off of turn 2. Mike Sarantakos has been pretty smooth and steady. Everyone behind him is trying different lines, different... Oh, boy. That got skinny. The announcer's not supposed to stop talking when things get exciting, but...
Here's DeBoer right on the back bumper of Sarantakos. Erskine continuing on the bottom with Thorne stacked up behind him. Eric York right there, as is Hughes, French. The whole field's right there.
Yeah, it's all of them, except for Steve.
Steve Miller riding around the back right now, but he's not too far off this action.
No, that's for sure. Nick Erskine racing for the lead to the inside of Sarantakos. Contact with Fabio Oliveri and Tim DeBoer. They lose the draft.
Yeah. I think Fabio lost hold of the car down there on one, and it just got up into Tim DeBoer, and both keep going on. So white flag is out. Here they come one more time.
Great battle in this race. Last lap, but sorry it's got to end. It's Dusty DeBoer having to lift to avoid contact with Sarantakos. Problem for Jeremy Hughes. The battle is on for the lead.
Yeah, he was challenging for the transfer. Transfer spot here, as we will need a B main for the minis. Coming to the checkered flag. Erskine takes it over Sarantakos, and it's Dusty DeBoer, and Eric York grabs the 5th spot.
That did remind me of a finish at Talladega, where they're all fanning out at the end looking for their big run. We'll go back to some of the comments. Hello from Granby, Quebec, Illinois, Webster, Florida, Rotterdam, New York. You're everywhere. And hello to the people in the grandstands. We appreciate you coming out as we have a look at this last dash to the finish, Greg.
Yeah, here they were all fanned out. Nick Erskine, good job. He stayed committed on that bottom line and got it done at the end.
Knew what he needed to do. How does this work? I got a shout out from Todd Sutherland. They're at Michigan International for the NASCAR weekend. That's the pit crew for our pole sitter. Ryan Hiller out of New Hamburg in the 21H. On the outside in the 27 from Beamsville, it's Nico Hansen. Martin Schroeder starts 3rd. In the number 60 from Beachville, starting 4th from Thorold, the 96 is Tyler LaFantasy. Starting 5th, I believe this is his debut on dirt. From Oakville, the 46 is Jeremy Barton. Starting 6th from Port Colborne, the 7 is Jordan Denabriga. Starting 7th from Brighton, the 22 is Tyson Gregory. Nathan Jackson from Dunville is in the 10X. Rodney Rutherford from Waterdown in the 24, and Rick Van Cleef from Vineland in the 52.
They'll fan out off of corner number 2. Down the backstretch they go, all behind leader Ryan Hiller. You see point leader Tyler LaFantasy right now right in the thick of it as they come off of corner number 4.
Hiller with the lead behind them. They're 3 wide for that 2nd spot. Where the heck did Rodney Rutherford come from? Whoa, contact.
Tyson Gregory and Nico Hansen there got into one another down in the corner. Everyone stays clean and green as it's Ryan Hiller out in front. Here comes Rutherford. And on the outside, Schroeder in the 60. LaFantasy's working that bottom side.
Hiller continues to lead. Schroeder up to the cushion. He'll carve it in line with the race leader, Hiller. Hiller gets up towards the wall. Look at the run. LaFantasy gets on the bottom, and then Rodney Rutherford drives it even deeper down into the turn.
Cross flags up in the air. 3 laps left to go in this one. LaFantasy still picking away at the bottom, trying to get by Rutherford. Out in front, Ryan Hiller's been using that top side. They're side by side off of corner number 2 and down the backstretch. LaFantasy edges ahead.
Hiller keeps having a problem in turn number 2 where he has to roll out of the throttle. But he's charging the corners hard, so he picks the lead back up. Looks to be better in turn 4, but LaFantasy has been so fast this year. At the stripe, it's Hiller by 5/1000ths of a second.
2 laps left to go. Hiller still committed to that outside line, but LaFantasy pulling away in the bottom. It's a 3-car race for the second spot.
Rodney Rutherford looking sporty down low in that 24 machine. Martin Schroeder, I feel like he's been on the back bumper of Hiller this entire race, but not able to make anything work. Yeah, you get your little fan working there, Greg.
It's hot here in the sun.
We don't want Princess breaking a sweat.
Yeah, it's I just looked at you. Talk about Razor Ramon. All right, checkered flag out. LaFantasy wins over Rutherford. Then it's Hiller, Schroeder, and then the 46 machine of Barton. Good solid top 5 for him. Clinton Jeffrey, you're here tonight.
I've been trying to jump in, but you guys won't give me a break. No, all good. Just want to mention 50-50 is a guaranteed minimum $1,000 tonight. Sellers are around. They'll be around for 1 more hour. We're going to guarantee minimum $1,000 on tonight's 50-50. And we got to say Merry Christmas to everybody. It's Christmas in August. Thank you to all the fans and drivers that brought gifts. Mary has messaged me from the gate, said we have an amazing assortment of gifts that the fans brought in to give away to underprivileged children at Christmas time. So thank you, fans, for doing your part and helping out some underprivileged folks here in a few months at Christmas time. Guys, crate sprint qualifier number 1 coming on the track.
I knew I should have worn my Cousin Eddie costume tonight.
Cousin Eddie.
You live in that costume. Who are you talking about?
Yeah, you're not wrong. We, again, in the comments, please tell me these guys are on the PA and not just the stream. The world needs more announcers. The world does not need any more of me or Greg. But yes, we're on the PA, we're on the stream. We haunt your dreams at night. Strickland's Brantford Chevrolet crate sprints. Here are the heat lineup. Is the heat lineup. I'll give you the other ones when they come out. 4 heats tonight, 8 cars in each heat. On the pole from Wayne Fleet, the BS39 is Brett Stratford. Starting P2 from Dorchester, the 48 is Andrew Marshall. Noelle Teal starts 3rd. She's from Hagersville in the 14T. And then it's Ryan Fraser from Rockwood in the 94. Starting 5th from Georgetown, the 2M is Steve Murdoch. Starting 6th, making her debut here tonight from St. Thomas, the 70MM is Gabby Darling. Starting 7th from St. Thomas, he was quickest in practice from St. Thomas. The 4 is Jesse Costa. Rounding out the field from Ohsweken, the 77T is Tyler Paulus.
Off they go into corner number 1. Stratford out in front. They're 3 wide, and Paulus makes contact with Teal, and everyone keeps going.
Aggressive opening lap for Paulus. He moved down, chopped across Steve Murdoch, and then contact with Noelle Teal. So he would not be denied there on that start. Out in front is Brett Stratford. Over Andrew Marshall, who's hanging on pretty good there in the 2nd spot.
Fraser and Murdoch wheel to wheel through 3 and 4s. They work it off the corner. Murdoch trying to take the spot away. He will at the line, move him to 3rd.
Jesse Costa is still trying to get around Tyler Paulus. He finally does, but he's got some ground to make up. He's back in the 5th spot, quite a ways back from 4th place running Ryan Fraser, so he's going to have to get up on the wheel out in front. There's no catching Brett Stratford. He is pulling away in the BS39, running the high side while everyone else seems to be dancing around the bottom, Greg.
Yeah, Murdoch is committed to that, having a good solid run in the 2M as we come to the cross flag. 4 and 4 to go here in heat race number 1 for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division.
Nearly contact between Marshall and Ryan Fraser off of turn number 4. They come close in turn number 2 as well. That allows Jesse Costa to close in. And remember when I said there's no catching Brett Stratford?
He's got him. He's right there as they go down into corner 1. And off of 2, Murdoch's right there trying to drop alongside him down the backstretch.
That one spot between 1 and 2 where the car on the outside just loses grip, and you saw Murdoch close right in, right up on the tail tank of Stratford with 2 to go. Stratford says, enough of this, I'm going to take his line and run down low.
Stratford gets a bit of a breather there going into corner number 3. A good 4 or 5 car length advantage over Murdoch. Coming to the white flag. One more trip around for Brett Stratford in the PS 39.
This time he runs the middle of 1 and 2. Doesn't go all the way to the bottom, but he makes it work down the back straightaway by about 8 car lengths over Steve Murdoch. One final time through 3 and 4. It's going to be Brett Stratford to the win. Steve
Murdoch will cross the line in the 2nd spot over Ryan Fraser. Then it's Jesse Costa. 5th will go to Andrew Marshall. Then it's Tyler Powlis in the 77T. Noel Teal in the 14. Gabby Darling will complete the running order in the 70.
Kristen Sawinski, Buffalo, New York is definitely as impressive as everyone else's locations. Halliburton. Okay, I get it. Maybe that's why I didn't. Maybe that's why I stopped looking at the comments. I can't stop. It brings like a rabbit hole.
It's just what you need.
Yeah, as if I'd fit down a rabbit hole. Big freaking rabbit. Heat race number 2 rolls onto the racetrack. On the pole from Ohsweken, the MK8, it's Matt Hill. Alongside out of Brantford, the 49L is Lucas Smith. Starting 3rd in the 3S from Mossley, it's Austin Rose. Starting 4th from Ancaster, the 51 is Trevor Young. Starting 5th out of Ohsweken, the 28 is Jordan Hill. Starting on the outside of row 3 from Stony Creek, the 24A is AJ Lewis. Starting 7th from Port Colborne, the 16R is Seth Roy. And starting 8th from Rockwood, the 74 is Rob Neely.
You smell that, Adam?
No, what did you do?
There's a bag here that says Burger Barn on the outside of it.
I've been fooled before.
Who's this for? Oh, for Doug.
Doug gets delivery again.
Doug.
You know what? I got Raising the Bar. As always, phenomenal food. Find her on Instagram. Ray, Zed, and the Bar. Rob Neely. Radio Shuttle is in the house tonight. They've been on that race car for a couple of seasons now. Rob says, of course, of all nights, I'm starting at the back. Like, that's where the magic happens. Do something spectacular.
I don't know. There's magic happening in this Burger Barn bag. Why is my name not written on the outside of it? Okay, here we go. Green flag up in the air, and Austin Rose jumps down to the inside of Matt Hill. Looks like we'll stay clean and green there. Rolling along the bottom, Austin Rose, the top spot in that Bobcat of Brantford, number 3S. Here comes Lucas Smith, though, in the 49L. He has been a hot shoe this year in that 49 machine.
He's a hot shoe. He found the right groove through 1 and 2 and took advantage. Austin Rose going to try to close back in, but out in front is Smith over Rose with a gap back to Jordan Hill in the 28. They were putting decals on that 28 machine a little earlier in the pit, so hopefully with some new sponsors. Out back, I can see what he's doing. Rob Neely's just building up. He's building up to the spectacular in that 74.
Meanwhile, up front, it's all Lucas Smith over top of Austin Rose. And then you've got Jordan Hill in the battle for that 4th position. Seth Roy gets by Matt Hill. Now he'll challenge on Jordan down in corner number 3.
Seth down low, Jordan Hill up to the high side. They'll race off at turn number 4. Roy going to get that spot. He'll sling it down into 1 and 2. Jordan Hill tries to get to the bottom. Matt Hill looking to the outside in the MK8.
Across the line, Lucas Smith continues to lead Rose. Good distance back to that 3rd spot of Seth Roy. Then it's Jordan Hill, Matt Hill, AJ Lewis tracking in, and Rob Neely back there behind Lewis fighting with Trevor Young.
Now look at that. Rob Neely's starting to make his move in that 74. He got around Trevor Young. He's trying to close in on AJ Lewis. Lewis has been ultra quick here this season in the 24 machine, but only 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Lucas Smith on cruise control. Coming from a white flag. One more trip around. He's got a couple of feature wins already this year. Austin Rose getting back off the schneid. He's had a bit of a rough patch here in that 3S machine for Nathan Acklin Racing, but better results here in this qualifying heat.
Rob Neely just muscled his way past A.J. Lewis. A.J. Lewis doesn't really react, just passed him back. Lucas Smith for the win. Rose comes home second, third to Jordan Hill. Then Matt Hill, followed by Seth Roy, A.J. Lewis, and Rob Neely. Not for a lack of effort, though. That was fun to watch. Man, people are being far too kind in the comments tonight. And I just missed an inside joke at the other end of the tower.
Guys, just want to jump in here. Doug, can you give us that call again, please? Doug, we had a penalty on that.
We did have a penalty on that last one. The 3S will be penalized 2 spots for being out of line of passing on the original start. He was inside and passing the MTA before the MTA got to the line.
Thanks, Doug. There you have it, guys, right from race control. Austin Rose going to be put back 2 spots for passing too early on that qualifier.
He did that well with half a burger hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah, no kidding. He's so skilled. Heat race number 3 rolls out now on the pole out of Ancaster. The 16X, it's Keegan Baker on the outside of row 1 from Freelton. The 12 double D, it's Darren Dryden. Starting third from Ohsweken, the 9C is Brian Nanakoke. Starting fourth from Thamesford, the 7 is Eric Gledhill. Starting fifth from Thamesford. Why is it people are always connected? These two always seem to start near each other. Curtis Gardley in the 45 from Thamesford, starting 6th. From Ohsweken, the 99 is Joshua Hill, starting 7th from Waterloo. The 19D is Alan Downey, and rounding out the field from Listowel, the 97 is Sheldon Bender.
I was expecting Rod Serling to pop up.
How come?
When you said, how are they connected, Thamesford, and they're always side by side in the Twilight Zone, buddy.
Gotcha.
Green flag coming out here in this third. Not the final. We have one more still to go for the great sprints tonight. We got a pile of them here. How many? 32 in total. And this is heat race number 3 with Keegan Baker going at it right now with Darren Dryden in that 3M machine.
Keegan Baker racing well with one of the best this division has to offer out there. Darren Dryden, I believe he's going to clear him there in turn number 2. He will. Look at Curtis Gartley go to the bottom in the 45. The 2 Thamesford drivers in 2nd and 4th. Gledhill looking for 3rd on the inside.
He'll drive that Oakwood Transport. Number 7 to the inside of Keegan Baker as they roll down through corner number 1. Now he'll try and take away the spot from Curtis Gartley, and he does. Opens the door and slips on by.
He just used the move that Curtis Gartley used to get all the way to 2nd, then goes up high down in 3 and 4. Gartley to the bottom, right up on the tail tank at Gledhill.
Brian Anakoke's got the Canada Fuels number 9C wound up on the top side right now. He'll work to the outside of Keegan Baker, but here comes Alan Downey down to his inside. He'll take away the 4th spot.
Nice move by Alan Downey in that 19 machine. Darren Dryden sees the halfway flags. 4 laps down, 4 laps to go.
So Darren Dryden almost a straightaway advantage over Eric Gledhill. Then about half that back to Curtis Gartley in the 3rd position. It's 5 on the board, 3 laps left to go.
This is the most strung out I think we've seen all night long in any of our qualifying heats. Brian Nanakoke still trying hard in that 9C, but he's not really making a lot of ground up.
Darren Dryden started off the year with a bang. He's been just as good as Lucas Smith. Those two have been the most dominant drivers so far in the crate sprint car division this year. And that 3M DJD Graphics number 12, DD. Darren Dryden takes the white flag. Eric Gledhill 2nd. Curtis Gartley 3rd.
Whoa, Sheldon Bender, hang on to her, buddy. Gets up off the track in 3 and 4. Comes back down just behind Joshua Hill. Checkered flag waves for Darren Dryden. He will take the win. Coming home in the 2nd spot will be Eric Gledhill. 3rd can go to Curtis Gartley over the hard charge, and Alan Downey in 4th. Brian Nanakoke 5th. Keegan Baker, Joshua Hill, and Sheldon Bender round out the field.
Guys, we've seen Keegan Baker out there getting his handle on, ran a few good laps to start that. When I was talking to his dad, Terry, today, he said, I'm not racing, guys. I overestimated how hard it would be to race and be a race dad at the same time. So Terry says, I'm going to park it tonight, concentrate on Keegan's program, and look pretty good to start that one.
Should make mention 50-50 ticket sales continuing to go on. Flag down some of the sellers in the pink T-shirts. It's guaranteed $1,000 to win so far, and they're only going to sell tickets until 9 p.m. So we can get that ticket announced good and early. So make sure you get those tickets good and early.
Is that what you've been lobbying all week long?
No, I didn't say a word.
Heat race number 4 rolls onto the racetrack. On the pole from Kitchener, the number 2 is Travis Hofstetter, alongside also from Kitchener, the 50 LS is Adrian Staley. Starting 3rd in the 88 from Brantford, it's Lance Erskine. Starting 4th from Woodstock, the 29W is Tyler Ward. Starting in 5th from Ohsweken, the 77E is Ashton Van Every. Starting 6th from Waterdown, the 5C is Connor Mahoney. Starting 7th from Thamesford, he must have missed the call. He should have been in Heat Race 3 with all the other Thamesford boys. Number 14 is Larry Gledhill, and rounding out the field from Brantford, the 69K, it's Ken Hamilton.
Eight cars, 8 laps, final qualifying heat of the night.
I was hoping by sweating as profusely as I am, you might turn the fan towards me, but
no.
I noticed you didn't.
None for you. You're closer to the air conditioner unit.
I'm blocking the air conditioner.
Off they go into corner number 1. Hofstetter on the bottom has the lead. Here comes Ward on the outside. Had a good run on Erskine, but lost it off of 2.
Turn number 2 is the tough spot. We'll be watching that all night long, but out in front, Hofstetter trying to lead the lap, but he's not going to. Adrian Staley out in front in the 50.
Staley edges in front over Hofstetter. Erskine right there. Ward, and here comes Van Every in that 77. Machine's got a good run in the 5th spot, trying to catch Ward. He's got Connor Mahoney to his outside. Good to see Connor back yet again here after a brief time off from racing.
You know, people have lives, different reasons for coming and going, but it's always great when they make a comeback. Trouble at the back. Ken Hamilton goes around in turn number 2. In fact, last week I was walking back to the pits, and Dallas Biederman was chatting with me as he was walking across with his wife and kids. I assume it was his wife and kids. I don't think I've seen him in 20 years. Clint, do you know if has he been to the races much?
No, I was just getting my earphones on. Who are we talking about, Adam?
Dallas Biederman.
Oh, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I'm almost sure that's who was talking to me as we walked across the racetrack after the races.
Yeah, I haven't heard them. They had their fair share of feature wins in the day, though, did they not? Wow.
Yep. There was one, I was always disappointed that he stopped racing, because he was really, really good at a time like that. Was really the baseline for Thunderstocks. We weren't getting a lot of cars, but there was some good competition. It'd be great to see him come back, and I think you'll probably will see him come back, Clinton, but on the small track off the backstretch with one of his kids.
You know, the other driver like that who we saw here at July 1st of the Nationals was Dave Silverthorne Jr., who came in with that Nova, came out of nowhere from the payment world and just cleaned up for a couple of seasons and then just drove off into the sunset. So good to see Dave. We hear he may be coming back, but no word on the Biedermans.
So they get lined up single file. Adrian Staley in the 50 leads the way over Travis Hofstetter, Tyler Ward, Lance Erskine. Tyler Ward, that's like Johnny Cash's car. There's pieces from a few different race cars on that 29, I believe.
Green back in the air with 5 laps left to go. Everybody gets single file past the restart cone. Staley and now Ward challenging Hofstetter for that second spot. He'll take it away, and here comes Van Every as Hofstetter kind of tangled and thought about touching the wall there for a moment. I don't think he quite did.
Yeah, Van Every's doing a good job in that 77. We've got a number of young racers, new racers, doing a nice job out there. Tyler Ward overshot turn 1. Van Every able to stick it to the bottom as I'm dying over here.
Staley, Van Every now 1 and 2. Ward back in 3rd. Here comes Connor Mahoney challenging to the inside of Hofstetter for that 4th spot. Erskine's right there as well, and now Mahoney to the inside of Ward. He'll take over 3rd.
Great battle there for third on back. Lance Erskine right along the inside against the concrete. Connor Mahoney with the spot over Tyler Ward, Hofstetter, Erskine. And here comes Gledhill to make it a 5-horse battle.
Good fight right now from third on back. Mahoney has the third spot. White flag out for leader Staley. And then it's Van Every having a good solid run in that True North bet machine. Connor Mahoney now distancing himself from Tyler Ward and the rest.
Yeah, Connor Mahoney has put the afterburners on and drives away from that battle. Look at the run Tyler Ward gets off the bottom. But for the win, it's Adrian Staley. Van Every second. Mahoney, Ward, Hofstetter, Gledhill, Erskine, and Hamilton. Well, well, well.
A deep, dark hole. Well, that's it for qualifying heats, so that will send us now to some B main racing. And I believe the 360s will be up first.
And here they come.
Starting on the pole in this one, 12 laps will be the distance. It'll be Jamie Turner out of Caister Center in the 11 to his outside from St. Williams, the 21 of John Burbridge Jr. Starting in the third spot from Brantford, the 27 of Paul Ballantyne. And scheduled to go from the fourth spot is the 01K of Mike Krutchka, but I believe I just read that he is done for the evening. Going from the fifth spot, out of Ohsweken, the 68 of Aaron Turkey. Going from sixth, from Ohsweken as well, the 15N, that is Dan Nanakoke. Lining up in seventh position out of Mississauga, 17X, the highlight man, Mac Demand. Going from eighth, out of Colburn, the 5D of Jacob Dykstra, and going from ninth out of Wilsonville, the 94X of Scott Hall.
Just had one wheel off the racetrack. I believe that's Bailey Hurd in the 70.
And he was not in.
That would explain maybe why he's.
He was in the original B main lineup, but they changed it, and he transferred in. So.
Gotcha.
And there must have been an issue with Jacob Dykstra that put him into the B main because he wasn't on the original list. So, like, I thought Jacob was in a transfer spot, so maybe he missed tech or something like that.
If it happened more than 20 seconds ago, I forgot.
Jacob drove past the scales, guys. Did not report to the scales when Doug Leonard called him, so he will be starting at the back of this one.
And one car rolling off of the warm-up track.
I think that is Jacob Dykstra. Yep.
Well, there you go.
Juniors Riverside Bait and Tackle 5D.
Well, on the front row, we've got an old driver and an old car. Jamie Turner's the old driver. John Burbridge Jr. is the old car. But the way the racetrack has been in 2022 fits right into John Burbridge. A slick racetrack is the great equalizer, and we certainly have been seeing that most weeks. Is out in front, Jamie Turner with the lead, Aaron Turkey with the run.
Jamie Turner on the bottom, Turkey rolling that outside line off of corner number 4, runs out of real estate. Jamie Turner slams the door in that Charlie B. Honey number 11.
Turkey won't be denied, rolls the outside. He'll take the lead off of turn number 2. McDeman back in third. We've got what a wheelie by Jacob. Did you see that wheel stand for Jacob Dykstra up in turn number 2? Gets mixed up with Dan Nanakoke. Crossing my fingers that we have a replay of that. Our Mighty Wipes moment of the night goes to our turn 2 camera operator. Goodness gracious.
So Dan Nanakoke should be able to get the easy push here and get back going.
Some people commenting. And Clinton, you can chime in on this as well. Some people commenting saying, hey, we should send some money for this stream because the racing is so good. But Virginia hits it on the nose. That's the GeForce TV and all the sponsors for the live stream. It is certainly not free to put on the stream, but with amazing partners and sponsors and advertisers. We're able to send it out and get people interested from all over the world. Clinton Jeffrey, how big of a tool has that been for you to be able to promote this racetrack?
It's been amazing, Adam. As you know, we see it everywhere we go, all over the country here, as you and I get to travel around, everybody talking about Friday nights here at Ohsweken. And, you know, we look at it like major sports. I mean, would anybody care about Major League Baseball, hockey, or football if it wasn't given away free on the weekends? And we're giving this away free, and we thank our partners, like you mentioned, and we're super proud to be able to provide this great coverage. And all we ask that you share it up and get more people watching.
And more people coming to the track. I mean, everyone sitting in the grandstands knows it's better in the grandstands. And Murray, to answer your question, it was Dave Cook who was involved in the Mosport Oval originally back in the late 80s.
Green flag out. Jamie Turner continuing to lead with Aaron Turkey working that high sideline. Oh, and he gets into the back of Turner, and Turner saves it. Good job.
Good job for both of them not to get wrecked out there. Some wild racing for the lead. He's going to take another run again. No, it's McDeman to the outside. Going around Jamie Turner. Turkey back in the third spot. Jacob Dykstra up to fourth in the 5D.
Here comes McDeman across the line as the leader over Turner and Aaron Turkey. Then it's Jacob Dykstra, John Burbridge, and Paul Ballantyne. Nanacoke and Hall.
Woo.
Oh,
wow.
Aaron Turkey and Jamie Turner have had a bit of a run in here a couple of times now as Turner scoots by Turner, as Turkey scoots by Turner.
Out in front, it's all McDeman, and as he does, a one-man highlight reel. Watch him go through turns 1 and 2. How he doesn't knock the wall down, I don't know.
Just enough room right there for the highlight man as he is out in front and checking out as he comes across the stripes. Cross flags go up in the air. 6 in, 6 to go.
Demand closing in on lap traffic. Scott Hall on the 94. The first car he's going to come upon. He'll drive to the inside through 3 and 4. It's the move over flag displayed to Hall.
So it's McDeman with a lap car between he and Aaron Turkey in that second spot. This time by it'll be 8 laps on the board and 4 to go for the highlight man who's got it wound up on the outside.
Look at that. I can't believe the line he continues to run in 1 and 2. Like, get away from the wall. It's a Consi.
And to corner number 1 goes McDeman. See the battle between Dykstra and Jamie Turner. There's McDeman. Off the back stretch he goes and down into corner number 3. 2 to go this time by.
Dykstra took a big run down the inside of Jamie Turner. Rolls through the outside of 1 and 2. Has to roll out of the throttle. He's going to do it again. Takes the run down into 3. Slide job. Jamie Turner turns down the banking. They'll drag race down the front stretch.
Jamie Turner's had a handful all race long here. He's been at it with a couple of drivers. Now Dykstra will pull away from him as the white flag is out for McDeman over Aaron Turkey.
Last time through 3 and 4, McDeman closing in on John Burbridge, who's running in the 5th spot. Demand takes the win. Second going to go to Aaron Turkey. Third, it'll be Jacob Dykstra in the 5D, with Jamie Turner coming home 4th in the 11th. And rounding out the top 5, it's John Burbridge Jr. As we have a look at the replay between Aaron Turkey. Wow! Front bumper to back bumper. Thank goodness he was squared up, because if rubber touched rubber there, they were going to be flying through the air. So the 360 sprints are all done. The field is set for the A main.
It's like one of the 2-seat sprint cars are going to make their way out onto the racetrack. We saw one of them in the hot lap session earlier on tonight, so good to see them back in action.
So Abby, this is your opportunity to fly the drone under the wing of the sprint car.
Nothing bad could come of that.
No.
Coach Santa's got some handouts down there at the flag stand. Quick! Get the freebies. Well, I think we're going to have a bit of a break in the action here, so we'll take a quick commercial break on GeForce TV and be right back here at the Big O on Renway Energy Night.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Wick retailer at quickwick.com.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rear-view mirror. Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
Back live at Ohsweken Speedway as we have a look at our brand new VIP suites over on the back stretch, and folks having a good time over there. Thanks for joining us here on GeForce TV on Renway Energy Night. It's also the Kids Race Canadian National Autism Foundation Night. The folks from Kids Race here and MMBO Direct Marketing, want to welcome them. And Santa Claus down there handing out some goodies to the youngsters. And had Gary Calling ask, is that Adam Ross in the Santa suit? No. There are no sweat stains in Santa's suit right now, so that can't be Adam Ross. Turn your mic on there, Bubba.
There'd be a big gap between the Santa jacket and the...
A muffin top Santa, is that what you're talking about?
Pretty much.
Just waiting on our Nathan Ackland Insurance Top Gun Award winners. Clinton Jeffrey will talk to them in just a moment. I believe Mitch Brown will be one of them, and Steve Murdoch, the Crate Sprint Top Gun Award winner. And yeah, it looks like Mitch Brown down there will catch up with Clinton Jeffrey and Mitch Brown.
We got Mitch here. Mitch, Top Gun, that's a good start to your night. Means you won passing points and means you were going good in the qualifier. One more big race to go. But you ran really good last week on the bottom. We're going to see that work out tonight?
Yeah, it's. I think it's fast on both lanes, actually, but we'll see how it plays out here. Just go where they aren't. I just got to say hi to my little baby boy at home. Hasn't been feeling good. And then my beautiful girlfriend at home looking after him, so hopefully he's feeling better.
I'm sure they'll be smiling seeing you pick up extra $150 from Ackland Insurance. Congratulations, Mitch Brown.
That is a smart race car driver.
He's got more, Adam.
Yeah.
I got more. I don't got more.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say something. He went over to get Dale's picture. I thought he stepped back. Steve Murdoch will come in here, newcomer here to the crates from the Can-Am Midget Series. Steven, welcome here. This is a good deal for you. Good way to start your night. It means you pick up $100 courtesy of Ackland Insurance, and you're the passing point winner, which means you made the most moves in qualifying tonight. That's a great start to your night. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was a good run. Got off on the bottom, and I picked up a bunch of people, and it was good.
How you enjoying this dirt stuff? Obviously still kind of new, kind of getting your feet in. Not quite a couple years in yet, but you having fun?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot different than the asphalt, and I like it more.
Right on, Steve Murdoch. Congrats.
Thanks.
He's our Ackland Insurance Top Gun for the crate division here tonight. How about a hand for both our Top Guns? They'll pick up a total of $250, $150 for the 360s, $100 for the crates tonight. Congratulations to Mitch Brown and Steve Murdoch, guys.
And all thanks to Ackland Insurance. And again, if you're needing some insurance needs, King George Road in Brantford, and check out Ackland Insurance. They are a Desjardins insurance broker.
Had an interesting comment earlier on from Bob Wood, who watches most weeks. Of course, Bob Wood was a longtime president of the Can-Am Midget Racing Club, and pointed out that the former Can-Am racers are looking pretty good tonight. We've got a lot of them here in the field, from Lucas Smith, Adrian Staley, Rob Neely, Darren Dryden, Mac DeMann. There's a lot of people who came through the TQ Midgets as a stepping stone.
Well, going to be a few more minutes before we get cars on track. We got some housekeeping to do here on the live PA, so we'll take another quick break here on GeForce TV and be back with, we've got another B main still to come for the crate sprints.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rearview mirror, every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickwick.com.
Back live on Renway Energy Night here at Ohsweken Speedway. It's also Kids Race Canadian National Autism Foundation Night here at the Speedway. Greg Kellnan up in the tower along with Adam Ross down trackside, Clinton Jeffrey. We've got most of the qualifying completed. We still have a B main left for the crate sprints, and then it's feature time for all four divisions. There we are, Adam.
Hey, there's us.
There's us. Hello over there. Is that corner two, I guess, catching us?
Must be. I thought the camera only added 10 pounds. Oh, the best. I met the Bell family at Sauble Speedway Saturday night.
Oh, yeah?
They wanted Clint and I to have our pictures taken with them, which was very nice. Super people. We sat there and chatted for quite a while. But my favorite comment of the year so far, you're way bigger than you sound. It just, I thought it was fabulous.
Well, at least you took it in stride.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I not only
now there's Pinty's in here now.
I not only have the face for radio, I've got the whole package.
The whole package. Darren's got the Pinty's chicken bites. They're bites, right? Is that what they call them? Chicken bites?
Yeah.
I eat them so fast I'm not really sure what they're called, but they have chicken strips, chicken bites, hamburgers, cheeseburgers.
Look at that. Abby just flew between the girders underneath the tower.
Look at the line for the ice cream. This was my first night of Ice Mobile.
You're so full of it.
It was fantastic. Beautiful night. It looked sketchy when we got here. I thought maybe we were going to have a short night, but things cleared up. And last night, not so fortunate for the micro sprints. Got through the first round of qualifying, and then the rains came down, and early night for them. But you want to check them out Thursday nights on the Little O. Starts at 7 o'clock, and some great racing action over there. If you're someone that wants to get involved in racing, don't know where to start, that's an excellent place to do it. Many of the teams over there would be more than happy to share some secrets with you or help you get involved in our micro sprint program. Looks like the B main is up now for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprints.
Here's how they're going to line up. Here's how they're scheduled to line up. On the pole from St. Thomas, the 70mm is Gabby Darling. Starting second from Rockwood, the 74 is Rob Neely. Starting third from Ohsweken, the 99 is Joshua Hill. Starting fourth out of Brantford, the 88 is Lance Erskine. Starting fifth in the 97 out of Listowel, it's Sheldon Bender. Starting sixth from Ancaster, the 51 is Trevor Young. Starting seventh from St. Thomas, number 4 is Jesse Costa. And starting eighth from Brantford, the 69K is Ken Hamilton.
I'd say Jesse had an O as well because he finished fourth, I believe, in his qualifying heat.
Huh. Interesting. Abby is indeed the drone pilot. I want us to start using Abby for Victory Lane because I'm going to tell you, I probably shouldn't say it out loud, but I wish there wasn't someone standing between the driver and the crowd for Victory Lane interviews. But we have to have the camera there. There has to be a camera person. So you wind up, it's not a big thing, it's just a thing, but we could probably have Abby go down there and just hover. And then you'd have the best of both worlds.
Make it happen.
If Adam ruled the world.
So Jesse Costa has some work cut out for him here in this B main. He'll start in the 7th spot, and see where Jesse is right now. 3rd place in points. So this is a situation where you kind of assume he's going to transfer, but anything can happen anytime you go out on the racetrack. So there's no assumptions that can be made here for that Oakwood Transport number 4.
No, for sure. Rob Neely looking for big things tonight. That radio shuttle number 74. Lance Erskine, Trevor Young. I mean, there's some good shoes out here. Joshua Hill in the 99, and then some newcomers, Gabby Darling and Sheldon Bender in the 97.
Rob Neely right now 7th in points as well, so an important race for him to make sure he transfers into the A-main and keep that top 10 standing.
Sails it down into turn number 1, slides up the racetrack. Lance Erskine gets by on the inside, and what a start for Jesse Costa in the 4.
Yeah, he has really got it wound up on that outside line. He's right behind Rob Neely at the line. Neely leads over Erskine, then it's Costa and Josh Hill working the bottom side of that white 99.
Costa with a big run off of turn number 2. He runs out of real estate there between Erskine and Rob Neely. They'll charge down into 3 and 4. He's got to be a little bit careful. He's in a transfer spot. You don't want to make a mistake and cost yourself the whole night.
It's Rob Neely out in front, but here comes Costa. Boy, he's got a head of steam off of corner number 2 as the room didn't look like it.
No, and you could see him biting the brakes a little bit to avoid that big run. He'll stay behind the 74, Rob Neely. Neely goes down to the bottom into 1 and 2. Costa up the high side. Costa's going to swing around and take the lead.
So put Costa to the top spot over Rob Neely. Then it's Erskine, Josh Hill, Trevor Young, Sheldon Bender, and Gabby Darling. As Costa in that Oakwood Transport car number 4 heads down the back stretch another time. This time by it'll be 5 laps complete. The battle is for the 3rd spot. Erskine and Hill going at it.
Good racing with Hill on the bottom. Erskine running higher up on the racetrack. Erskine comes right across the racetrack to slam the door on Joshua Hill. Look at Sheldon Bender closing in on Trevor Young a little further back as we're halfway through, 6 laps down, 6 laps to go.
I'd have to check. I think Sheldon Bender came up with the top 5 at Humberstone the other night, the All-Canadian weekend, so he's steadily getting more experience in that machine.
That's what it's about.
So it's Costa out in front on lap number 7 over Rob Neely, Erskine, and then it's Hill, Young, Bender, and Darling.
Erskine right down to the bottom. Rob Neely up 3/4 of the way up the racetrack in that 74 machine. Joshua Hill not really able to close the gap on that battle, as it'll be 3 laps to go when Jesse Costa comes around turn number 4. Gabby Darling getting some seat time, looking better and better every lap in the 70mm.
Lap number 9 on the board. Costa sailing down the backstretch, and he has checked out and gone. And this is what you want to see for the guy that's fighting in a championship chase, but still 2 to go. Anything can happen. Just needs to work it all the way home now.
It's what he wants to see, that's for sure. He's got to get around Gabby Darling. Dave Hunsinger going to wave the white flag. That means 1 more lap to go as Jesse Costa streaks under the stripe. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spread out. Rob Neely in 2nd, Lance Erskine 3rd in the 88th, and Joshua Hill in 4th.
Through 3 and 4 the final time checkers come out, and Jesse Costa will easily pick up the B-main win over Rob Neely in the 2nd spot. Then it's Lance Erskine, Joshua Hill 4th. 5th will go to Trevor Young. Then it's Sheldon Bender and Gabby Darling completing the running order. And I think just like that, we are done all of our qualifying, as it's time to go feature racing. And the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks will be up first. They will race 20 laps. Next week, a big one for them, the Brock Leonard Memorial, 50 laps. Big payday. It's a duel on the dirt combined race as well, brought to you by Instapanels. So a little prelude to that here tonight. 20 laps the distance for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock. Starting from the pole out of Thorold in the 11 machine. It's Go Fast Teeple to his outside. From Hamilton, the 43, Kyle Andrus. Starting in 3rd from Hagersville, the 75 is Ryan Barry, and Tim Failing goes 4th from Bimbrook in the 427. Logan Schwedek, he'll roll from the 5th spot out of Jerseyville in the 53. And going from 6th from Caledonia, the 55, Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne. Mark McDonald lines up in the 7th spot. He's from Lucan, Ontario in the 2M. And his outside from Hagersville, car number 3, Devin Bacher. Starting 9th from Caister Center, the 28 is Jim Lampman. And going from 10th out of Ohsweken, the 24, Blake Bomberry Jr. 11th starting spot will find Ken Sargent, and he is from Hamilton in the 25. Ron Logie from Burlington, the 97, he'll start in 12th. 13th starting position belongs to Mike Klazinga from Hagersville in the 93K. And going from 14th from Caister Center in the 28D, it's Donnie Lampman. 15th spot, Trevor DeBoer out of Hagersville in the 23 on his outside from Ancaster, the 19, Kyle Wirt. Starting 17th at Guelph, the 79 of Christopher Hale, and 18th from Canfield, the 32 of Mark Fawcett. The point leader, Dave Bailey, starts in the 19th spot. He's from Hagersville in the 49. And our most recent winner from Victoria in the 84 RK, it's Ryan Beagle. 21st starting spot from Ohsweken, the 48 of Lyle White. 22nd starting position from Brantford, the 13 of Casey Huffman. And Melissa Miller out of Ohsweken in the 93 will start 23rd. 20 laps of distance for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks here on Renway Energy Night. It's also a kids race in support of Canadian National Autism Foundation Night as well.
Nailed it.
White flag, and to bring the action to the green flag for the Thunderstocks, it's time for a quick wick fire it up. The sights and sounds of our 8-cylinder stock car class from all different angles here at the Big O as the Strickland Pace Truck pulls off on the backstretch. Go Fast Teeple, Kyle Andrus, get ready for the quick wick. Fire it up. will put us under the caution flag. Kyle Andrus got sideways going into 3 in front of the pack, and that puts us under the caution flag. Now, I think everyone's been able to drive away, but
pretty impressive job of driving by everybody out there. Because really, there wasn't a ton of contact. Like after that all went down, you'd expect cars to just pile in. There was a little bit of bouncing off each other, but by and large, did a great job. Now that was back where your points leaders are. I don't know how many laps are complete, but he started 19th, and Dave Bailey is sitting in the 5th spot.
Well, they're setting the order right now. And we'll have a look at the replay of how all this started. Watch Kyle Andrus in that green 43 on the outside.
Yeah, contact between Barry and Andrus.
Ron Logie got a big piece of that.
I'm looking at Dave Bailey and Ryan Beagle, so they were way down the track as this was going on up the racetrack.
And Mike Thorne had a fairly significant couple of hits there, but his car keeps rolling on. Did he have a left? Oh, did he go off?
Look at that drone coverage. Doink.
Wow. I think Mike Thorne cut a left rear tire, and he is headed to the pit area. So,
you know what makes me happy, Greg?
Besides food?
Besides food. Our drone pilot is better than your drone pilot. Then yes, I'm talking to you. Anybody who is listening, our drone pilot is better than yours.
I was going to say, I don't have a drone pilot. Ron Logie there with his headlights draped over the front of the car there, so he'll head to the pit area.
That should be a quick fix.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that shouldn't be a problem. Still watching for Mike Thorne to make his way back out, and that's a guy that just can't catch a break this year. Just kind of lined up in the middle of that and bounced around like a pinball.
When it's not your year, it's not your year.
It's getting loud over in the officials booth.
Christopher Hale's getting squawked at by Doug Leonard, the race director. And Christopher Hale stopping to have a chat. Way back when, before transponder timing, and I fought this forever, they didn't used to go back to the last completed lap. They would freeze the field when the yellow came out, and they would rely on the 2 or 3 people in the tower to be able to see 30 cars at the same time and know what order they were in. And it was so unreliable and inaccurate. I mean, Danny Johnson unofficially gained 7,020 spots over the course of his career under yellow.
I can attest to some of those.
Right? Like, it's just how it was.
Yeah.
Yellow would come out, the field would slow down, and he'd look like Christopher Hale. driving till he'd settle in. So transponders came out, now we go back to the last completed lap. And I sometimes wonder if all the drivers haven't caught up to speed with that practice.
They'll do anything to try and get a spot. Danny was the master of that. All right, here we go. Stack back up. Complete restart. 20 laps left to go.
So Dave Bailey up to 13th, Ryan Beagle 14th. They removed the accident cars to go back to the original lineup. So they have picked up some spots, but all those spots were picked up because of the accident. We'll go back to green with Go Fast People down low. Tim Phelan up high.
Here they go into corner number 1, fanning out. Everyone trying to find a line. Schwedek out in front, 3 wide stacked up behind him as they go down the backstretch. Bacher on the bottom, Teeple in the middle, Phelan on the outside.
There's a lot going on down there in 3 and 4. 4 wide, 5 wide for a moment. And back in the field, you've got the top shoes, Dave Bailey, Ryan Beagle, Christopher Hale, but out front, Logan Schwedek has a fast race car. So does Devin Bacher, so does Tim Phelan.
I think Blake Bomberry had a right rear flat on the Nitro 54 Variety 24 machine, so he'll head to the pit area as we come across the stripe. Side by side for the lead. Schwedek at the line over Devin Bacher.
A lot of checking up going on out there as they continue to look for racing. That's not even 5 wide, that is 6.
Yeah, they are 6 wide there at a moment. Oh, now Kyle Wirt had to back off or either made contact there, and he now tucks in behind Ryan Beagle, the point leader. Dave Bailey working down on the bottom side, trying to find a safe line to the front.
So if you remember last week, Dave Bailey went to the bottom, Ryan Beagle went to the outside. Beagle was up into the top 5 by about lap 3. So he hasn't found that line yet tonight, but Dave Bailey, oh, Christopher Hale goes around into turn number 3.
We'll see if he'll fire it back up, but I think, yeah, he was about to, but the caution flag had come out.
And he did in the heat race. Good sportsmanship in the heat race. In the feature, you're here, you're racing in the points. You're going to draw the yellow if you spin out. Strange to see Christopher Hale spin out twice tonight, once in the heat, once in the feature. So Doug Leonard has already got his volume up to about 8, I would say.
Yeah, when we can hear him, that's about 8.
We have a doorway.
When you can hear him, it's 10.
That's right. Like we used to be all one big open air room, and there was just too many people talking too loudly. So we had to separate. Let's have a look at this replay if you're watching on GeForce TV or if you have your device. Christopher Hale on the right side of the screen. Okay, I think DeBoer might have surprised him when he cut to the bottom, and rather than spin out the 23 of DeBoer, Christopher Hale spun himself out. Respectable maneuver.
So the white flag displayed, and we'll get back at it. 4 on the board, 16 to go. Our first feature of the night, 4 in total. 360s up next, followed by the mini stocks, and we'll conclude tonight with our crate sprints.
So we've got some drivers up front looking for their first career wins. Devin Bacher, Tim Phelan, Mark Fawcett. Mark Fawcett has not won here?
No, not yet.
And drivers who have won here, like Logan Schwedick in the 53, Kenny Sargent in the 25, Dave Bailey in the 49, Tim DeBoer in the 23.
Or Trevor.
Yep, we'll call him Trevor tonight.
All right, back at it, 16 to go. Dave Bailey back there in that 5th spot. Oh, the door gets shut by Ken Sargent going into 1.
Yeah, Kenny comes down to the inside to run that line. I'm sure he could not have known that's where Dave Bailey was making his moves. But he came right across the nose of Bailey in the 49. No problem. Bailey waits half a lap, and he'll make that move to the inside. But out in front, Logan Schwedick leads the way.
Good to see these top 2 out there. Logan Schwedick and Devin Bacher have really needed a good run, and this is what we're used to seeing for these 2 drivers, and they're out there 1 and 2, but look who's right behind them. Dave Bailey, the point leader, the dominant driver in this division, rolls it through the middle, looking to the outside of Bacher.
Wow, Kenny Sargent making some contact there with Mark Fawcett. Fawcett gets on the binders to avoid that becoming a worse situation. He'll regroup and try to chase him down, but Fawcett back in that 7th spot looking for more as Go Fast Tipo rides along the backstretch wall.
Schwedick, Bailey, Bacher, the top 3. Then it's DeBoer, and that back there in that 5th spot. That's where we'll find Ryan Beagle in the 84 RK side by side now for the lead. Here comes Bailey down to the inside of Schwedick.
Bailey hugging the wall on the bottom of the racetrack. Schwedick up high where you keep that momentum going. Bailey's going to lead that lap, but Schwedick with a good run. Can he get through 1 and 2 better than the 49 of Bailey? He's really gets through turn number 1. Carry some speed off of 2. Black flag being displayed.
Lyle White's going to see that. As this time by, it's 9 laps on the board for Dave Bailey. 1 shy of the halfway point for Brewster Baker in the 49. Point leader right now by 37 markers over Ryan Beagle, Christopher Hale, Trevor DeBoer, Kyle Wirt, your top 5 in the standings. Beagle trying to close the gap. He'll work on Trevor DeBoer for the 3rd spot up in 3.
Logan Schwedick is not going away in that 2nd position. He's still a couple of car lengths behind Dave Bailey in the 49. He's committed to that high line. Dave Bailey comes up to the outside to give it a try. Dave Bailey will be one who watches the scoreboard. So he'll see that Ryan Beagle is getting closer and closer to the front. So he's going to try different lines on the racetrack to make sure he knows what line his car likes the best.
So Bailey. Oh, caution flag comes out.
I almost wonder if the yellow is out because they're trying to get the 48 off the racetrack. Oh, there is debris on the track. It could also be for that.
Sizable chunk.
Yeah, I believe it's the hood off front. Logie's 97, guys. And yes, as he takes a good look out the left side window, the Racement crew over here to pick it up. But the hood, that's a big piece of metal we couldn't have raced around, guys.
I feel like we haven't heard much from Clint tonight. You and I have been blathering on quite a bit.
You know, some nights he just takes the night off. I don't know what he does back there.
I don't even know what to say. I'm just going to laugh at it. It's okay.
Far right of the screen, we are going to see a flying hood. Ron Logie's car just coming into the picture.
We saw the shadow.
I mean, that happened right in front of Clint. Why didn't he call it?
Can't get a word in edgewise with you guys today. Normally leave me a break, but not one tonight.
No, tonight we're turn your microphone off. We're good.
What are you laughing at, Junior? My kid's laughing at me from the stand at you guys.
Now, for those who don't know, Clinton is also the track's general manager, PR representative, promoter, janitor, organizer, cleanup crew.
Hey, cleans up your messes.
Doug Leonard's complaint taker.
Yep.
He is getting loud up here tonight, Clint. So
a couple drivers forgot their one-ways, and Doug screams until they can hear him through the car. Finally, I jump in. I'm like, Doug, what can I help you with? Christopher Hale wasn't listening, but he got the message. But Hale did say, hey, I'm sorry, my radio's not working. If Doug's talking to me, I said, oh, he's definitely talking to you.
Okay, so that's, we often don't know what a driver stops for to talk to an official on the racetrack. It used to be common practice, and it was one of the first things that this Speedway did away with.
Yeah, Doug was one of the first ones that said, walk away, do not talk to that driver, do not listen to his complaints. He can take it back to the pits. But I was actually trying to get Hale in his right position. He said, I can't hear. As we get ready to go, guys, 11 in, still 9 to go. Can anybody knock Bailey off?
Well, we're about to find out. Logan Schwedek has speed, so does Ryan Beagle. Green flag in the air.
Back underway here for the Middleport Mechanical. Heating and cooling Thunderstocks. Beagle's on the bottom, 3 wide behind the top 2.
Beagle running the line that got Dave Bailey to the front. He edges out ahead going into turn 3, comes up off the bottom. They'll drag race down the front stretch. It continues to be Dave Bailey out in front. And let's not count out Trevor DeBoer. He's got some wins here at Ohsweken Speedway. Not this year, but always a top competitor.
Oh, bad break. Logan Schwedek in the 53 was on the inside on that restart. He pulls off on the backstretch into the infield. And the Advantage Electric number 53 will come to a stop just inside of corner number 3.
I'm fascinated that Ryan Beagle is running about half a lane off the bottom of the racetrack. It looks as though he's going in right past where the tacky dirt is, but he's getting some great drive as he slides up the track towards Dave Bailey's line. Who's it going to be at the stripe? Continues to be Dave Bailey with 6 laps to go.
Great battle up in front. These two have been the show this season. Other than one win by Kyle Word, it's been Ryan Beagle and Dave Bailey. Beagle working the bottom, Bailey on the outside. Kind of a reverse of what we're used to seeing with these two.
I thought he was going to do a slide jump. I think Dave Bailey thought so as well. Bailey was ready to cross him over, and Beagle kept his car on the bottom of the racetrack. Look at Mark Fawcett closing in the 32.
Yeah, he'll get into the mix. And how about Christopher Hale after the spin earlier on? He's up there challenging for the 4th position, right behind the top 3.
Oh, now he gets his crossover. Bailey to the inside, Beagle up high. Still Beagle at the line by about 2 feet with 4 laps to go. But Dave Bailey takes his inside line back. Beagle says no problem. I'll go 12 lanes to the outside.
Mark Fawcett has been oh so close here at the Big O. Could this be the night that he steals one away while Ryan Beagle and Dave Bailey duke it out for the top spot? Across the line, 3 laps left to go as Kyle Andrus spins in corner 2.
Andrus goes around, gets the car going once again as Ryan Beagle slides up the racetrack towards the outside wall. He's got to gain that car length, Greg. He's able to get a good run off the corner, but The start-finish line is halfway down the straightaway. That's where he's got to be ahead of Dave Bailey's 49.
2 laps left to go. Ryan Beagle working that extreme outside line. Bailey on the bottom with a lap. Car play a factor in this one. They're door-to-door down the backstretch. Beagle inches ahead going into corner number 3. Here they come to the white flag.
I can't believe Beagle stayed up on the high side with the slower car ahead of them. He's committed to the outside. White flag is in the air.
He had the run, and now the caution flag comes out as we've got one around up in corner number 2. Kyle Wirt will bring out the caution flag just as Ryan Beagle had inched ahead.
Guys, I'm curious who the fans are cheering for tonight. Make some noise if you're cheering for Dave Bailey tonight. Make some noise if you're looking for the big dog, Ryan Beagle, to go 2 in a row. And how about Fawcett or Hale? Anybody rooting for the second row here tonight? Let's hear you. Awesome job, guys. Awesome.
I think it's a Ryan Beagle crowd. Not a big surprise. I mean, Dave Bailey wins so darn much. There's not many drivers who win as much as Dave does and still remain the fan favorite.
Just want to make a quick mention. Logan Schwedick here. You mentioned he was running good in the car. The 53 here lost brakes, guys. So Logan did the right thing, pulled it into the infield, and said, no sense trying to wreck somebody else. We will get it fixed and come back next week. He was quick.
You know, I know I'd stop doing shout-outs as the night went on, but this one deserves it. Hello from Argentina. Is Argentina a Ryan Beagle fan or a Dave Bailey fan? Because it's important who's got the pull in the Southern Hemisphere. Do the toilets really go the other way in the Southern Hemisphere? Or is that a myth?
How does your brain work?
Yeah, like of all the things you could think of about the Southern Hemisphere, it's toilet water going the opposite direction.
I've heard when you flush a toilet in Australia, it goes the other way.
Oh, you mean the way it swirls in the bowl?
Yeah.
I thought you meant...
No, that's a bidet.
I thought you meant...
If it fires the bits back at you.
I thought you meant maybe it was like when the porta potty gets tipped over.
Dan, go to commercial. Dan, go to commercial.
Omaha.
Oh, that's well past Omaha.
Yeah. Now people know our safe word. We need a new one.
I think you're right, Adam.
I never knew what it meant when you guys start saying Omaha. I know it's a safe word, but I don't know what we're supposed to do.
It means we're so far off the rails that we hope the power goes out.
Well, shouldn't somebody be else yelling Omaha at you guys in the booth instead of you guys calling yourself offside?
I don't know that people up here listen to us.
Oh, they listen. Make some noise if you listen to Adam and Greg. How about that?
Oh, Dan says we can fire it up and we can shut up. As we get ready for a quick fire starter fired up as they'll come back to the green flag. It's going to be a lap.
I was going to say, we can't really do quick fired up on a green.
Couple of white flag.
Beagle gets back to the power, but Dave Bailey humming around the inside. He's got one more chance to do it. 2 ends of the racetrack. Through 1 and 2, he's getting a nice run off of turn 2, Greg.
He's got a head of steam, but Bailey made it through 2 very nicely on the bottom. Last chance for Beagle. He'll run it around the outside. Will he pitch it down low or keep it steaming on the outside? Checkers come out, and Bailey will get back to victory lane over Beagle, Fawcett, DeBoer, and Hale.
And someone chimed in to say, actually, I'm watching from Omaha. You, sir, are our safe one.
So Dave Bailey picks up another win, and that will be win number 6 on the season. And he'll head to Quick victory lane to celebrate over Ryan Beagle and Mark Fawcett. Same 3 drivers yet again, but jumbled up a little bit there.
Do you think they twirl an ice cream cone soft serve the other way?
My.
I wanted to put it in terms you'd care about. Dave Bailey rolls into victory lane with Ryan Beagle second, Mark Fawcett third. Deja vu all over again. You know, with tonight a 23-car field and you still have the same drivers, the cream rises to the top, but it's so much fun week after week to see who's going to start rising to the occasion and have better runs. Trevor DeBoer looked good tonight in the 23, but Not good enough to get into Quick Wick victory lane. Clinton Jeffrey is on the scene.
Thanks a lot, guys. Dave Bailey pulls out of the Jibs Action Sport Queenston Chevrolet number 49. He'll get over there and handshake with Ryan Beagle. These guys continue to put on amazing races week after week. Dave, the yellow saved you, man. He had a run on you, and it looked like he was going to grab 2 in a row from you in the same fashion he did last week. That caution save you?
Yeah, it's kind of a little sloppy down there in the bottom, and I went in a little bit too low and kind of slid up, and he got by me. You guys probably haven't noticed, but he's been growing a mustache for like a month now, and that thing's making him super fast.
It's really, you notice that on your competitors?
Yeah, it's we bug him about him all the time, but he's giving us a run for our money everywhere we go. It's just awesome racing with guys like that, and I don't know, it's awesome.
Right on, Bailey. Congratulations. Dave Bailey picks up another one and continues the legend. Jackson, turn on the light. We need to see this Caterpillar. Oh boy, are we calling you Big Cat now?
I think that's Brad Sweet's nickname, isn't it?
There you go. Hey, Beagle, though, this car is running good. You got to be super happy with the way this won. From the outside, looks like you found something that can beat this 49, or at least give them fits every week. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I didn't think the top would work like that, but I've never been able to run the top like that here, and I don't know, I'm just having a blast.
Earlier that you grabbed 2 feature wins. This is the first time you've ever done that. You've been a contender for a long time, but your season's off on a great start.
Yeah, we got 2, I think it was 2018, but we've never had 2 here at Ohsweken, so I'm happy, really happy.
Right on, Big Dog. Ryan Beagle, ladies and gentlemen, grabs the feature win. Second place here tonight. Bailey second. And Mark, it seems like you're the second bridesmaid week after week, but these are good problems to have because that means you're that close to picking up a win. Solid run for this 32 once again.
Yeah, unfortunately it's the third, but I'll take it. I'm up on the pad, and it's tough racing with Dave and Beagle. They've been here a long, long time, great racers at all tracks, so I'm pleased to be here. Just want to thank the sponsors once again. Sticker It, that does all the decals, and SP Motorsports, Quick Wick, BDI, NICAM, and Exhaust and Gales Aftermarket. Thanks, guys.
Right on, Mark Fawcett will be third. Ryan Beagle second. Your winner here tonight. Dave Bailey, folks, make some noise for Brewster Baker. Grabs another one as he gets ready for his Pinty Series debut in just under 2 weeks' time.
360 Sprint Cars are up next. We'll be back in a moment here on G-Force TV.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rear-view mirror, every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedway.com.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Wick retailer at quickwick.com.
Back live at Ohsweken Speedway on G-Force TV, ready to go for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising 360 Sprint Car feature. Going from the pole is the point leader out of Tilsonburg in the 13. It's Corey Turner. He is outside from Mount Bridges, the 45, Nick Sheridan. Rolling off third, he was the winner last week. 2 wins on the season out of Benbrook. And car number 9, it's Liam Martin. To his outside from Beamsville in the 88H, it's Josh Hansen. Starting 5th from Brantford in car number 10, it's Downtown, Mitch Brown, and to his outside from Dunville,
In car number 15 tonight, it's Ryan Turner. Starting in 7th at a Fenwick, the 14H, the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen, and his outside. From Warrnambool, Victoria, Australia, car number 20, Braden Cooley. Starting in 9th, he's the owner of Ohsweken Speedway in car number 0, the Ohsweken Flyer, Glenn Stiers, to his outside. From Dorchester, teammate car number 1, Holly Porter. Going from 11th at a Beachville, car 5, DJ Christie, to his outside. From Brantford, the Little Bend 110, Jake Brown. Starting in 13th from Scotland in the 87X, it's Sean Evans. And from 14th out of Niagara Falls, the 70 of Bailey Hurd. 15th starting spot belongs to Derek Jonathan out of Lewiston, New York in the 81. From 16th, it's Todd Hoddick out of Cheektowaga, New York in the 94. Travis Cunningham from Grimsby in car number 90 starts 17th, to his outside. From Picton, the 84, Tyler Rand. Going 19th, the B main winner out of Mississauga in the 17X, the highlight man, Mac the Man. And starting in the 20th spot out of Ohsweken, the 68, is Aaron Turkey. 21st starting spot from Port Colborne in the 5D, it's Jacob Dykstra. And from 22nd out of Caister Center, the 11, Jamie Turner. And in the back row, going from 23rd from St. Williams, the 21 of John Burbridge Jr. And going from the 24th spot, the 15, and out of Ohsweken, Dan Nanakoke. 24 cars, 20 laps of distance, the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising 360 Sprint Cars.
That's how they line up another stellar field of 360 sprints.
50-50 being drawn at the end of this race. Corey Turner, Nick Sheridan bringing us to the green flag for the 360 Sprint Cars.
Nick Sheridan with a big run out on the high side of 1 and 2. He'll lead the way down into turn number 3. They are taking evasive action off at 2. Everybody able to get through. It's Nick Sheridan at the line. Glenn Stiers off the track in 3 and 4.
He'll gather it back up. Here comes Nick Sheridan back by Corey Turner as they go into corner number 3. Turner will slide out in front. Here comes Sheridan back on the bottom in the 45 at the line. Sheridan leads the lap.
Slide jobs and crossovers all over the place. Sheridan up on the high side through 1 and 2. He'll have the advantage by a couple of car lengths. Here goes Corey Turner to the bottom. Couldn't get in front of the Sheridan 45.
Right behind them, Josh Hansen picked up his first career win a couple of weeks back. He's up there in that 3rd spot. Mitch Brown right behind him, and Liam Martin is there as well. Right now, Nick Sheridan and Mitch Brown, the 2 drivers in the top 5 of the wins at Ohsweken this year.
Further back in the field, Sean Evans had a tough time there in turn number 2. Just about caught the wall. He lost a couple of spots. Corey Turner nearly catches the wall off of turn 2. Josh Hansen goes by in the 88.
It's all Nick Sheridan in the Vibrant Farms Pride Seeds 45 out in front. Hansen to the 2nd spot as he gets by the Petro Plus 13 of Corey Turner. Mitch Brown closing in now on that 3rd spot.
Look at the ground Josh Hansen made up on the inside in 1 and 2. Watch him through this turn. Sheridan up high, Hansen down low, and as they approach lap traffic, it's going to be important to have a car that'll work anywhere on the racetrack.
Mitch Brown slides by Corey Turner now for the 3rd spot. He'll try and catch Josh Hansen, as right now Nick Sheridan gets bottled up behind Dan Nanakoke, loses a ton of track position.
Hansen on the inside off of turn number 2. He'll look for the lead in 3. Here goes Hansen to the inside. Sheridan going to cross him over.
Down across the stripe at the line, it's Sheridan, the leader of lap number 8. Back down to the inside goes Josh Hansen. They're wheel to wheel through corner number 2. Mitch Brown trying to close the gap as well. Hansen back to the lead.
Just like we saw when Josh Hansen won 2 races ago. It was Mitch Brown. No, Mitch Brown was last week closing in from the top 3. But out in front is Josh Hansen. Nick Sheridan not going to give up. Swings it to the outside and battles for the lead.
Oh, so close down the backstretch. On the high side goes Sheridan. He'll swing down the banking. He'll try to the inside of Hansen. Hansen leads the lap of lap traffic right in front. Todd Hoddick in the 94.
Hansen slows down on the inside. Nick Sheridan keeps it wound up high. Yellow flag. Holy moly, that could have been bad.
Mac the Man spins around up the exit of corner number 2 and puts us under the first caution. Flag 10 on the board, 10 to go. What a battle out in front.
Goodness gracious. Where is Ryan Turner running? got off the racetrack in 3 and 4. Ryan Turner is in the 10th spot in the Dan Hancock look-alike number 15 machine. I believe we will see Ryan Turner finish the season here at the Big O in the 15. Out in front, it's Josh Hansen in the 88. And if you weren't here a couple of races ago, Nick Sheridan with a big slide job on Hansen to take the lead. Hansen went to return the favor, did not clear Nick Sheridan. Contact ensued. Nick Sheridan went for not a wild ride, but he went for a off-track excursion that brought out a yellow. Josh Hansen went on to win the race. Nick Sheridan did not. So here tonight we see the same cast of characters. Youngsters Josh Hansen and Nick Sheridan 1 and 2. Mitch Brown, the KG veteran in that CarQuest number 10. And I dare say the slicker a racetrack gets, the better Mitch Brown is going to do in that number 10.
Well, guys, not sure what the issue is, but Mac DeMann has requested his 2 minutes in the work area, and he will head back there. We'll let you know when he gets there.
Mac DeMann in the 17X getting pushed back to the... So the way it works, most of our fans know this, but you do get 2 minutes to work on the race car if you request it. You can determine that your night is done and just go back to the pits, but once you request it, they take you to the work area, you stop, you have 2 minutes from that time before they'll go white flag. So 2 minutes to get done whatever needs to get done on the race car.
Well, Corey Turner came into tonight as the point leader. 3 points up on brother Ryan Turner. Liam Martin sits third in the standings. Mitch Brown fourth and Nick Sheridan fifth. Josh Hansen sixth, even though he did miss the A main 1 week ago. Aaron Turkey seventh. Jacob Dykstra eighth. DJ Christie ninth. And Jake Brown 10th. That's how they stand going into tonight. And Sheridan, Hansen looking to gain some ground on Corey Turner, who now sits back in that fourth position.
We've got an all-star cast of characters in our sprint car class, the premier class, and I don't know why it's important to me to make comparisons, but this reminds me of the heyday of Ohsweken Speedway. You know, when you had all the elite and super modified racing, and there were, like, you had a few that were absolutely top shelf, and then you had a handful, a big handful that could have a good top 5 run on a given day. So much for 2 minutes in the work area. We're back to green.
Here we go. Josh Hansen on the bottom. Here comes Sheridan ripping around the top. Hansen takes that J&E recovery. Car number 88H into corner number 4. Sheridan in his tire tracks, and Mitch Brown's working the bottom now.
Mitch Brown liking the inside groove in the CarQuest number 10. Nick Sheridan high, wide, and handsome in the Vibrant Farms Pride Seeds 45 and 1 and 2. Nick Sheridan's having a little bit of trouble there in turn 3. His tires off the track again.
Oh, and he'll catch the bales, and that will put us under the caution flag. 12 on the board, 8 laps left to go.
I know Glenn Stiers has been frustrated at times this season, and I have a feeling he'll be frustrated tonight as well. Clinton Jeffrey on his way over to the scene there on the outside of turn number 2.
Corner 2 has really become a problem spot here in 2022, more than years gone by. I think we see more trouble there as we just get an update on the 50-50. $1,764, and they will draw that number at the conclusion of this feature.
Greg, in my opinion, the issue is just past halfway between turn 1 and 2. The drivers lose grip, and the trajectory of the car either takes them up off the banking, in which case you got to try like hell to save it, or takes you up to the edge with the front end pointed up the track, where you have to try like hell not to knock down that turn 2 wall. But there's a spot there that's just really challenging. Clinton Jeffrey, what's going on?
Well, guys, something doesn't look right here on the rear of the Stiers car. The right rear dragging, the frame is dragging on the ground. We'll see if we can give you a shot of it here. But yeah, he's got a right rear suspension problem, and that's going to be the issue for Glenn here after he smacked the wall here. The rim is bent up a bit. Not sure if that's going to be the problem, but the big issue they got here is the frame rail is dragging on the ground.
So it looks like they're going to push that car to the pits. That surprises me. I figured they'd pick it up from the back end, but they'll push him off of the racetrack. What a battle we're seeing, Greg.
It's been a good one out in front. Mitch Brown has worked his way into this. And Liam Martin got by Corey Turner on that last restart, so put him up into the 4th spot. Last week's winner, he's got 2 wins on the year. Now, Mitch Brown has a win this year. It was at Ohsweken Speedway earlier in the season. Josh Hansen, of course, won here a few weeks back. Nick Sheridan looking for his first 360 win. Liam Martin with a pair here this year. Corey Turner has 2. And Jim Hoopinen, it's been a while since he's been in victory lane here at the Big O. He's back there in 6th.
Daniel, if we could trouble you to close the mic from the trailer. All good.
Back to the green flag. Single file past the restart cone with 8 laps left to go. And Josh Hansen rockets down into corner number 1.
Sheridan up on the high side. Did he ever get a good drive through 1 and 2? Then lost a bit of grip at the exit of 2. Hansen runs the slider line through 3 and 4 as though he thought Nick Sheridan might take a run there. 7 laps to go. Hansen back to the bottom. Sheridan up high.
Here goes Hansen into corner number 3 with Sheridan about 10 car lengths back, and he hit something up there in corner number 3. A little bit of a rut. That upset the car. Loses a bit more track. With 6 laps left to go, it's Hansen, Sheridan, Brown, Martin, and Turner. Your top 5. Turner back to the inside of Martin for 4th, and DJ Christie goes around in 1.
He does so. That bright yellow wing down there in turn 1. I'll tell you, Nick Sheridan is really cowboyed up out there. You can see the ride in that 45 is not very comfortable up on the outside of turn 3 especially, and then down in 1 and 2 even. That car is just bucking him a little bit.
Josh Hansen's really showing here on these last couple of restarts. He's the car to beat. I think he's really got things hooked up the best. Mitch Brown thought he had something on that restart, but kind of settled back there into 3rd again.
A little bit of a whizzing contest going on between Travis Cunningham and Holly Porter and Tyler Rand.
So right now, Josh Hansen leads over Nick Sheridan. 3rd is Mitch Brown. 4th, Liam Martin. 5th, Corey Turner. 6th through 10 is Jim Hoopinen, Jake Brown, Braden Cooley, Ryan Turner, and DJ Christie. So that'll actually move Jacob Dykstra up into the 10th spot now. Then Holly Porter 11th, Travis Cunningham in the 12th spot, 13th Aaron Turkey, 14th Tyler Rand, 15th Sean Evans, 16th will be Mac Demand, 17th Bailey Hurd, then it's Jamie Turner 18th, 19th to Todd Hoddick, and 20th John Burbridge Jr., 21st Dan Nanakoke, and then Derek Jonathan and DJ Christie completes the running order with Glenn Stiers.
Looks like John Burbridge Jr. just vacated the track in turn number 2. He is headed pit side.
Yeah, I was about to say Glenn Stiers was the only one off the track, but now John Burbridge and Mac Demand did come back. So,
how about Todd Hoddick in the 94? He was the fastest car in practice, and he's barely in the top 20 right now.
Yeah, he was about to get lapped there before the caution 2 runs ago. Well, Josh Hansen's really been good on the restart, just powering away from Nick Sheridan. Let's see if the 45 can get a better jump this time, coming back to the green flag.
Not a bad start for Nick Sheridan. Hansen was still a little bit better, and you could see him just riding that bucking 45 through turn number 1. But Sheridan's got no quit. He's going to run the middle of the racetrack, trying to close ground on our leader.
How about the run by Jim Hoopinen? He just got into the top 5 as he sails past the point leader Corey Turner, but Turner trying to work the outside line. He'll settle back in the 6th spot, and Braden Cooley's right behind him in 7th. Good solid run for that GSR machine.
Yeah, Corey Turner's having some handling issues in that 13 Petro Plus Burger Bar machine as we are under yellow. For one spun around in turn number 2, that is Todd Hoddick.
Boy, we ripped off the first half of this race, and I thought we were going to go green to checker again, but it's been a hard time getting through these 6 laps as now Todd Hoddick sits up there on the high side of corner 2. We'll see if this is just a push or if he will need to go to the pit area. Still 2 features to come. We've got the mini stocks up next, and then we'll conclude tonight with our crate sprint car division. And again, next week, these 360 sprint cars are off, and we'll have the Dirt Sportsman here.
Well, guys, just a quick spin here for Todd Hoddick, making a return here to regular competition. Been here a few times and trying to get the handle. Lost up here in 2. It'll be a quick push off. He'll be ready to go back to it.
It's a tricky racetrack for these drivers tonight, Clinton. We've got a couple of dips on the track. Any idea what brings that on? Would it have been the weather we had this week, or and not terrible, just something we haven't seen this season?
Well, I think it has definitely something to do with the weather. They were packing it hardly yesterday, working on the track when the weather came, and that could easily cause a bit of a crater to form up if it filled with water and didn't get out till today. But considering the weather we had yesterday and the strange weather we had today, things have come in very well for the track crew. Remember, we used to have a lot of problems, and now we got 1 or 2 small divots we're working on.
Oh, absolutely, and I was gonna mention that the racetrack this year has been absolutely fantastic, wide and smooth.
Yeah, the one thing we're missing is a cushion. You know, I think that's what Glenn's trying to lean on, and there's just not anything up on that upper lip left anymore.
I prefer it. I mean, if we were racing wingless sprint cars or wingless midgets, I'd say, yeah, let's get a cushion. It adds to the dynamic of the racing, but it's been such phenomenal side-by-side action. Lots of grooves on the track to use. Just the way it is perfect.
Yeah, it's produced a lot of exciting racing in every division, and you and I talked about this before the show tonight, last Friday night, in every division. Fantastic features.
Let's see how this one winds up. 4 laps to go. Josh Hansen continues to lead, continues to get great restarts in that 88.
Sheridan has Mitch Brown go down to the inside there in corner number 2, trying to get that second spot away. As they race down, it is a battle for second. Josh Hansen just launches and takes off on these restarts.
Hansen will not be denied tonight as laps wind down. It's 3 laps to go. The battle is on for second. Mitch Brown just smooth and steady on the inside. Nick Sheridan wild on the outside.
2 laps left to go for Josh Hansen, looking for his second career 360 sprint car win here at the Big O. The battle is for second. Mitch Brown on the bottom, Sheridan on the outside. Brown tucks in, now looks down low in corners 3 and 4. White flag is out. Here's the battle for second.
Mitch Brown gets up in front of Nick Sheridan. Sheridan going to change up his line, run the bottom through 1 and 2, and that did not work for the driver of the 45. But out in front, taking the win, Josh Hansen to the checkered flag. Mitch Brown second, Sheridan third, Hoopin in fourth. Fifth, by a nose, it's going to be Jacob Brown in the 110.
So the Brown brothers pick up a pair of top 5 finishes. Liam Martin 6th, Braden Cooley 7th, Corey Turner crosses the line on 8th, Ryan Turner 9th, and Jacob Dykstra completes the top 10. As Josh Hansen picks up his second career win in the 360, second this season. Great job by the driver of the J&E Recovery, Julie Swayze Remax, car number 88H. He'll head down to Quick Victory Lane, and we'll light up the skies here with Lone Wolf Fireworks in just a moment to celebrate Josh's second career win. Mitch Brown grabs the second spot. Nick Sheridan crosses the line in the 3rd position. And the 50-50 draw about to take place down in Victory Lane in just a moment. Hansen, your winner. Brown second. Sheridan third. Jim Hoopin in 4th. Jake Brown 5th. 6th through 10. Liam Martin, Braden Cooley, Corey Turner, Ryan Turner, and Jacob Dykstra. We'll send it down trackside where see Josh Hansen getting unbuckled, ready to celebrate for the 2nd time this year. What redemption, Clint. After a week ago, he couldn't get the car to fire and work throughout the heat, the B main, missed the A main, and here he is right back to the top of the pile.
Yeah, certainly an up and down season for Josh Hansen so far. 2 feature wins last week, as you mentioned, some problems, but he's ready to climb back up here on the top wing. And salute you fans as he grabs another feature win here in 2022. Josh Hansen gets it done. And the drone Adam requested shows up on scene. Josh, what a drive there, man. You know, let's talk about up and down. 2 weeks ago, you win. Can't get it fired last week. You're back in victory lane now. What's going to happen next week, bro?
Well, hopefully on the Monday, Tuesday, we can give Christopher Bell and Friesen a run for their money. Last week, we blew a motor. First off, I got to thank Trey Hoddick, Todd Hoddick, the whole Hoddick family, Carl, Matt Farnham. These guys sold me a motor this week, and they helped me way more than they had to. We went to their shop, they put it in, and this is by far the nicest piece I've ever had, and I can't thank them enough. Hopefully, happy birthday, Trey. I know it's your birthday either today or tomorrow. Can't thank Matt and all those guys enough. Got to thank my sponsors, Julie, J&E, all the crew, guys. Andrew, John, got to thank Mom before I get in trouble. Dad, Terry. I got to thank all the fans for you guys coming out. Track was good tonight. That hole getting into 3 was pretty bad. I almost barrel rolled it on the extra lap there. That's why I was running the middle in 3. But fantastic track, and can't wait for the Nationals.
Right on. Josh Hansen grabs the feature win, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get over here and talk to Mitch Brown. Mitch, you started the night as the top gun on the concrete. You're going to finish here, 1 spot less than you want. But, man, any night you can win, qualifying, finish second, nothing to be sad about on a Friday night.
No, there ain't much to complain about in life. So we were good, just passed some cars, so that's cool, and rolling forward. And, yeah, Nicky got a bad start there on that last one there. It could have been a little more interesting, but a good night overall.
Right on. Mitch Brown gets it done. All right, we'll get over here and talk to our third place runner, Nick Sheridan. Nicky, man, you're so close to grabbing that win, but you're giving Adam heart attacks up there. You are driving this car so wild out there, just trying to do everything you catch Josh. You had some runs on him. Tell us about your drive, Nick.
No, it was a great drive. I'm just so excited back on the podium. We were here a few weeks ago, and then we had a couple problems that kept us from being here, but I'm so happy to be back. And we were real fast. I was hoping to give Josh a run for his money, but we just didn't quite have the handling, so I had to drive it pretty hard to keep it up there. But I'm not sure what happened. I think 5 to go. It might have started running out of fuel or something, but I put a normal amount in, and it was just running. I don't know what happened there, but just amazing to be here. I just can't thank all my sponsors enough. Pride Seeds, Vibrant Farms, Leach Performance Engines helps out a whole bunch, and everybody else in this car. And nice to see all the fans out here. Thank you all for coming out.
Right on. Nick Sheridan will grab third here. And, Nick, you can do the 50-50 for us here. Reach in and pull out. What's the amount, ladies? Who's got it? Anybody know what the amount is? Her was over $1,200.
I think it's over $1,700.
Oh, wow. Yeah. $1,764. Great job, fans. Read it out loud, Nicky.
Numbers are 87412.
And the winning 50-50 number, 87412 for over $1,700. Come see the ladies down in front. Great job by the fans and all you 50-50 sellers to get that number up there. How about a hand for our top 3? We'll be right back live on G-Force TV. 2 feature events to come from Ohsweken Speedway.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rear-view mirror, every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
HRW Automotive Mini Stocks are up next year on G-Force TV from Ohsweken Speedway. Adam Ross with a starting lineup for their 15-lap feature event.
On the pole from Ohsweken, the 188 is Paul Longboat. Starting in second from Caledonia, the 265 is Mike Evers. Starting third in the 01 from Waterdown is Tristan De Silva. Starting fourth from Cambridge, the 69 is Rob Twitchett. Starting fifth from Caledonia, the 11 is Mike Giberson. On the outside of row 3 from Guelph, the 1 is Jason Tolton. Starting 7th in the 11E from Linden, it's Jeff Elsliger. Starting 8th from Brantford, the 64 is Nick Erskine. Starting 9th in the 6X out of Smithville, it's Mike Sarantakos. Rounding out the top 10 from Hagersville, the 23 is Dusty DeBoer. Starting 11th from Waterford, the 4 is Wade Thorne. Starting 12th from Burlington, the 10J is Jeremy Hughes. Starting 13th from Smithville, the 51 is Eric York. Starting 14th from Ancaster, the 16 is Fabio Oliveri. Starting 15th out of New Hamburg, the 21H is Ryan Hiller. Starting 16th from Beamsville, he wants to do what his brother just did. The 27 is Nico Hansen. Starting 17th from Beachville, the 60 is Martin Schroeder. And on the outside of row number 9 from Thorold, the 96 is Tyler LaFantasy. Starting 19th from Waterdown, the 24 is Rodney Rutherford. Starting 20th from Oakville, the 46 is Jeremy Barton. 21st from Brighton, the 22 is Tyson Gregory. 22nd from Brantford, the 1A is Ashton Dickey. 23rd and the 12 from Hamilton is Don Deagle. And starting 24th from Hagersville, the 26 is Tim Newell. Starting 25th from Stratford, the 54 is Christopher French. 26th from York, the 9 is Tim DeBoer. 27th and the 79 from Paris, it's Steve Miller. 28th from Dunville, the 10X is Nathan Jackson. 29th from Port Colborne, the 7 is Jordan Denabriga. And rounding out the field from Vineland, the 52 is Rick Van Cleef.
I think this is a good opportunity to see the sights and sounds of the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. We'll start things up with a quick fire starter. Fire it up. Jason Tolton out in front of the Vacu Trucks #1 machine with 2 laps on the board. And Adam, a testament to how good this racetrack has been this year. Back in 2009 and a few years before that, these mini stocks would show more than any division some of the rough spots on the track. And we're seeing 4, 5, 6 wide and some of that pack racing you talked about earlier. And that's a testament to how smooth this surface is.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Greg. And how about Rodney Rutherford at that 24? He is not a regular here at Ohsweken, but he's had a huge start. Coming from, trouble in turn number 2. Christopher French goes around. We are still under green. Now we're not.
So French brings out the caution flag, 3 on the board with Jason Tolton out front over Nick Erskine and Dusty DeBoer. Crate sprint still to come after this one.
Trouble in turn 4 as well. Tyson Gregory from Brighton in the 22 is parked sideways across the racetrack. He'll get going. 4 laps complete. You know, I was kind of pulling at the start of this race for Tristan De Silva in the 01 after the hard hit he had last week. It looked like that car is not quite up to snuff. It's pretty darn good considering what he went through last Friday night, but he wasn't able to keep it up front.
We see Tyson Gregory in Brighton joining us tonight in the 22.
But Jason Tolton involved in that same wreck in the 1. Nick Erskine in the 64 has been involved in a lot of mishaps this year. A victim of circumstance a lot of the time. Tyler LaFantasy back there in the 8th position in that 96. He's been the class of the field this year in the mini stock division.
Yeah, 5 wins so far. The only other 2 drivers to win, Fabio Oliveri and Eric York.
They had some issue getting Paul Longboat down to the inside. Doug Leonard went over the one-way radio and sorted that situation out, but up front it's Tolton in the number 1, Nick Erskine in the 64. Dusty DeBoer in the 23, Jeff Elsliger in the 11E. Who's it gonna be? There's 11 laps left to go.
Back we go, and they'll fan out again down the front stretch. Rutherford down to the inside of Dusty DeBoer as they head into corner number 1. We got one around, and Mike Evers, that left rear is all cattywampus.
Yeah, that's no bueno, the left rear, although 3-wheel steer is pretty cool on a mini stock.
Looks like a dirt late model. Here they come, 5. Well, it was about to be 5 wide off of 4 for the top spot.
Man, Jason Tolton looked to have this thing under control before the yellow. He's almost out of the top 5 there as Rodney Rutherford to the front. LaFantasy battling Wade Thorne for second.
Man, Jason Tolton did a good job to hold on to that off a quarter 2. I thought he was going to spin in front of most of the pack as Evers once again spins on the front stretch in the 265. And that will bring the caution flag out once again. 6 complete.
That left rear is just comical.
I mean, in theory, you'd think it'd help you corner. It's the straightaways that are probably the handful.
I think it's a little inconsistent which direction it's pointed. We're going to have a replay here of a close call with our race leader. Nick Erskine on the outs. Oh, contact between Erskine and Tolton.
Nice save by Nick Erskine.
Yowzers.
Good catch there, Daniel. Daniel filling in for Spencer. Well, Spencer's still working hard behind the scenes, but he's really far behind the scenes.
Yeah. I think you should try working from home.
I was just going to suggest it, actually. Is it possible?
Actually, I've got to do that later this month, and I don't know if I like the idea or not.
Which job?
I'm going to announce a race from iCar in Mirabel, Quebec, but I'll be in Toronto.
Well, guys, I got Mike Evers here, and Mike, you're looking at your car. That's not the way it should look. It's kind of a mess up there. You're trying to get clear, but couldn't quite get clear. What happened?
I have no idea what happened, except nowadays the feature seems to have turned into a demolition derby. I don't know why. It doesn't have to be like this. It wasn't in the past. I think we have an issue.
All right, Mike, we'll work on that for you. So the veteran saying, figures there's a lot of rough driving going on and not pleased with how things have been going, guys.
He's an elder statesman of the division, and he has earned that title. He's been around for quite some time. He's won some races, and we'll see if that message is received. He said it to the right person, Greg.
Here we go. Oh, white flag being displayed, so we'll have another lap around.
Spencer doesn't care what he has to say. No, I do agree. I mean, in many classes, I think we need a driver's meeting. The 360 sprints have just gone wild lately, and maybe we need to have a mid-season calm down session.
Well, having said that, Clinton, when was the last time we launched a 360 sprint car?
I'm not even answering that with our biggest races coming up. No. It has been good, but there's been a lot of really close calls that if those swings had have happened, it could have been very bad. So these young guys are changing lanes out here like crazy, and we need to talk about it.
Stay in your lane, Adam.
Yeah. That's
Rodney Rutherford to the lead down in corner number 1. Here comes LaFantasy out on that outside line. It's 3 wide behind him. Thorne, DeBoer, and Erskine. You got Thorne right in the middle of that one. He's trying to stay pace with Tyler LaFantasy, the point leader.
Nick Erskine sends that car squirrely behind Thorne. Jeff Elslinger looking for racing room. Everybody fanning out on the front straightaway, but out in front. Rodney Rutherford with the advantage, but Tyler LaFantasy got a great run through turn number 2. He'll chase him into 3. Rutherford down low, LaFantasy in the middle, Wade Thorne up high.
Halfway home in this one, Rutherford, LaFantasy, Thorne. Right now your top 3, then it's Erskine and Dusty DeBoer, the top 5. And a good battle going on behind that. 6th on back. Oh no, Tristan De Silva plummets through the field. Something wrong in the Jibs Action Sport 01.
Something amiss as people take evasive action. Everybody able to miss the 01.
Meanwhile, side by side for the lead as we watch De Silva trying to get the 01 machine around the track.
He pulls down to the inside wall. Christopher French up to the outside wall, not quite up to speed. So we've got a lot of roadblocks out here. That will bring out a yellow flag. So Tristan De Silva, after a promising start to that feature in the Jib 01, comes to rest between turns 3 and 4.
I'll play devil's advocate on the changing lanes and all the stuff that's going on. Could that be a part of the track surface? We're seeing it being so smooth and it's dry, slick, especially the mini stocks. It's a momentum game. And if you got momentum build up and you've got somewhere you think you can go, you don't just back out of it. And it is kind of like restrictor plate racing.
You know, when the next generation comes along, what did Mac DeMann look like when he first came out and ran a 360? He was erratic, but he was fast. We're seeing that again. It will sort itself out. Who brought out Glenn Stiers got off the track and hit the wall in a 1-car accident. Right, so that's not a young driver problem. So it's just one of those things. But Clint's not wrong. You have that conversation. But I think you need to expect that when you've got that many young lions out there.
I don't have an issue with them going that way. I think the issue, Adam, is they're rolling it right up to the wall, not leaving anybody racing room around them. And you cannot take up the entire track to go from the wall to the wall and race safely. It's just dirty racing. It needs to be cleaned up a bit, and you have to give your competitors a little bit of room out there.
Yeah,
no, for sure.
Yeah.
And if you don't send that message, and that's what drivers' meetings are for, which there's not a drivers' meeting every week, Clinton. And to your credit and Doug Leonard's credit, you have drivers' meetings when you feel they're needed. You say what needs to be said, and you go back to racing.
I will agree with that, because I've noticed this year more than in years gone by, we're seeing more people get pinched out at the wall on the front and back stretch, and where there used to be a little more give and take there. Coming back to the green flag, how about Rodney Rutherford tonight? He will lead them down across the stripe. Tyler LaFantasy and Wade Thorne, your top 3. What a mess behind the top 5.
Whatever the gearing is in that 24, it restarts very, very well. Side by side for second, LaFantasy up high, Wade Thorne down low in the number 4. Right behind them is Dusty DeBoer and Nick Erskine. Still anybody's race from second on back, but out front, Rodney Rutherford trying to drive away.
He's trying to, LaFantasy trying to get back to victory lane for the 6th time this year. He'll go to the outside of Thorne, Dusty DeBoer down to the inside, and Nick Erskine again, another solid top 5 run. He's working that outside of Dusty DeBoer, looking for 4th.
Just 4 laps to go this time as they cross the start-finish line. Rutherford out in front by 6 car lengths over LaFantasy. Wade Thorne trying to hold off Nick Erskine and Dusty DeBoer.
Rutherford, LaFantasy, Thorne, Erskine, DeBoer. Then it's Tolton, and we've got them tangled up. Jeremy May and Jeff Elslager. And they got straightened out. Eric York will work to the outside. A couple of cars to the inside. That was Nico Hansen and Martin Schroeder. We stay green somehow.
Is that Jeremy May or Jeremy Hughes?
Or Jeremy Hughes, sorry, yes.
Not that it was critical. I
knew it was a Jeremy.
Rutherford out in front. LaFantasy pulling away from Wade Thorne in 3rd. Thorne drives it deep down into 3 and 4. That car slides up the racetrack, but Nick Erskine basically runs that same line with 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go, says Nathan Christensen in the tower, frantically waving. As it's Rutherford, now the caution flag will come out. They're having a lot of fun over there tonight, Adam.
It looks like they are. Maybe the fumes we were talking about earlier have gotten to them. O de raccoon. I don't think that's O.
No.
Only one letter off in the alphabet, though.
It's more like a litter box. Darren was here first, though, so that's what you get.
$1,000 payday to the winner of this tonight. When the money's on the line, Rodney Rutherford in Southern Ontario shows up. He's taken more Flamborough Speedway money from the Enduros there.
He'll be licking his chops for the pot of gold.
Apparently there is interest coming from New Brunswick, from the U.S., people coming from all over. I still wish they'd have run that race on Labor Day.
What is the date? I should know. I designed the flyer for it, and I can't remember now.
It's the Sunday of Labor Day weekend.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
It's too much going on. I mean, just selfishly, I would have liked to have been there to watch.
So, 2 laps left to go. LaFantasy with 5 wins this year, trying to get by Rutherford.
One more feature to go after this one. The crate sprint cars have yet to run their feature event. They're all sitting back on the micro sprint track, waiting to be pushed off. Doug Leonard's just loud tonight. He's just talking to the other people in the same room, and we can hear him over here.
It's like a party over there. Well, he did have Burger Barn, so he's happy again.
I had raising the bar. Oh, and also, let's talk about a new sponsor tonight on some of the cars. I know it's on the 28 crate sprint car. I'm not sure which of the mini stocks it is on, but it's on one. And it's Driving with Haley, specializing in the financing of new and used vehicles, whether you have good credit, bad credit, or no credit. Go and see Driving with Haley. Find it on Facebook.
Maybe I should contact her so I can get you some credit. I give you no credit. No respect, Adam.
No respect. No respect.
2 to go. LaFantasy right there behind Rutherford as LaFantasy met his match tonight.
Man, Rutherford's just getting such a great drive off the corner in that 24 machine. He's going to protect that inside line off of turn number 4 with a bad push. White flag is in the air. If LaFantasy's going to get it done, he's going to have to go the long way.
He's right there on the back bumper, trying to get a run up the high side at 2 as he worked up the lane. Final time through 3 and 4. LaFantasy trying to get by Rutherford, but I think the 24 is hooked up and gone.
Double checkers in the air. Rodney Rutherford to the win. LaFantasy second. Wade Thorne third. Jason Tolton goes around in turn number 4. And Rodney Rutherford pumping his fist down the front straightaway. He's happy about that one.
So for just the 3rd time this year, someone other than Tyler LaFantasy will pick up the win for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. They'll head down to Quick Victory Lane as Rodney Rutherford picks up the victory over LaFantasy, and Wade Thorne will end up on the concrete tonight.
Nick Erskine 1 spot off the podium with a 4th place finish, but good to see him get a solid result.
Dusty DeBoer 5th, Fabio Oliveri 6th, 7th, Tim DeBoer 8th, Mike Sarantakos 9th, Jeff Elslager, and 10th goes to Ashton Dickey. So a good solid top 10 for him tonight, as well as Lone Wolf Fireworks once again lights up the sky. If you need some fireworks, you can head over to Highway 54 Middleport and pick up some fireworks for your next celebration. Lone Wolf Fireworks, the official firework provider of Ohsweken Speedway, as we get ready to send it down to Quick Victory Lane. Clinton Jeffrey will talk to Rodney Rutherford.
Yeah, guys, he drops the Hans and the helmet off. He'll drop the window net, and here he comes, fans. How about a hand for the Blue Streak Contracting 24, Rodney Rutherford. And get over and get a quick handshake from 2nd and 3rd, and come on around front and talk to us. Rodney, what a great drive here tonight. You know, you come out of nowhere on a $1,000 win, and you make it happen, man. Congrats.
Thank you. I just, first off and foremost, I got to thank Glenn Hills and Carl Salt for getting this car back together for me this week.
Great job, man. Adam was remarking, whenever they put the cash on the line and here in Southern Ontario, you seem to come to the front. You know, $1,000 win here tonight. Congrats.
Thank you. It's, I've been trying to get out here every week, but work is so hard, and I just love coming here.
I guess you do. Grand Richard, congrats.
Thank you.
Rodney Rutherford grabs the win, guys. We'll get over here and talk to Tyler. Well, Tyler, you can't win every week, but most weeks still work. Got to keep up on the points, and that's a good deal. Glad to have you back here every Friday.
Yeah, second is still a good spot to earn. Rodney ran a great race. The one time he screwed up, I got him, and then the caution came out, so he got the benefit of that one. But it was a good race. He had fun with him.
Right on. Tyler the Fantasy gets second place. We'll get the pictures done. We'll move over here and talk to Wade. Well, Mr. Thorne, not a bad drive for you.
Watch that.
Really slippery here. Congratulations, man. Third place. Good drive, and you've been running pretty good, whether it's pavement or whether it's here on the dirt, still running well.
Yeah, it's nice to be finishing up front. It's too bad we had such a terrible start to our season. I feel like we'd be up in the top 5 in points, but we've had a really good run. Last month and a half, we've been on the podium every week, so it's pretty awesome.
Right on. Wade Thorne will be third here tonight. Second place will be Tyler Fantasy, and your winner here tonight, Rodney Rutherford. How about a hand for your top 3? We'll be right back live on G-Force TV. We've got one feature event to go, and we'll be right back here live from Ohsweken Speedway.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rear-view mirror. Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV. Back live on G-Force, Renway Energy Night, kids race in support of Canadian National Autism Foundation Night as well. We have one feature left to go, and it is the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division, and Adam Ross has the starting lineup.
That I do, Greg. On the pole out of Thamesford, the number 7 is Eric Gledhill alongside the 77E from Ohsweken, it's Ashton Van Every. The 12 Double D from Freelton, it's Darren Dryden starting 3rd. Starting 4th out of Waterdown, the 5C is Connor Mahoney. Starting 5th from Ohsweken, the 28 is Jordan Hill. In the Driving with Haley sponsored 28. Starting 6th from Brantford, the 49L is Lucas Smith. Starting 7th from Kitchener, the 50LS is Adrian Staley. Starting 8th in the 2M from Georgetown, it's Steve Murdoch. Starting 9th from Waynefleet, the BS39 is Brett Stratford. Starting 10th from Thamesford, the 45 is Curtis Gartley. Starting 11th from Waterloo, the 19D is Alan Downey. Starting 12th from Rockford in the 94 is Ryan Fraser. Starting 13th in the MK8 from Ohsweken, it's Matt Hill. Starting 14th from Port Colborne, the 16R is Seth Roy. On the inside of row number 8 from Woodstock, the 29W is Tyler Warden. On the outside from Mossley, the 3S is Austin Rose. Starting 17th from Ohsweken, the 77T is Tyler Powell. Starting 18th from Dorchester, the 48 is Andrew Marshall. In 19th from Thamesford, the 14 is Larry Gledhill. 20th from Ohsweken, the 9C is Brian Nanico. Row number 11 from Kitchener, the 2 is Travis Hofstetter. To his outside from Stony Creek, the 24A is AJ Lewis. Starting 23rd from Hagersville, the 14T is Noel Teal. Starting 24th from Ancaster, the 16X is Keegan Baker. Starting 25th, this will be fun to watch. From St. Thomas, the 4 is Jesse Costa. Starting 26th from Rockwood, the 74 is Rob Neely. Rounding out the field from Brantford, the 88 is Lance Erskine. And alongside him from Ohsweken, the 99 is Joshua Hill.
Great field of crate sprints, guys. Just want to make a mention. Mark Howe was our 50-50 winner from Micmac First Nation, all the way from Nova Scotia. Congratulations, Mark Howe, our winner. And I have to send a shout out to somebody here who's a young fan. First time at the races, Mason Button. His first time here, only 3 years old. Welcome, Mason and family. Hopefully you have a great night here at the track.
I was thinking about that today, Greg, and what we do as announcers, and all that really matters is getting young people interested in coming to the races. Like, I remember how much fun I had listening to the announcers. I mean, I had the luxury of listening to Jack Burgess announce down in central New York, who, as far as I'm concerned, is the best there ever was. But that might be because I was 8 years old and he made it magical.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I grew up at Can-Am listening to John Burr announce for many a year, and watching some of the, like, Andy Mahaffey flagging at the track and just some of those things that bring back those memories and made it special too. I think the cars were almost secondary to all that was going on as part of the spectacle of the race.
And I like to think that there are kids that think about this sport the same way as we did. I mean,
I hope they're not looking up to us.
No, there's better things to aspire to. Although, speaking of which, I can't remember a time when there's been no junior flagger.
Get on that. I'll get you a set and you can go sit in the stands.
Nobody twirling the flags down in the front row.
All right, here we go. Final feature of the night, 20 laps the distance for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. Eric Gledhill and Ashton Van Every on the front row. Nope. Caution.
All the way to the back of the field it goes with Jesse Costa, and he just flattened his left front tire. I am 92% sure that left front of Jesse Costa's has gone flat.
I think you're right. Hard to tell from this angle.
It is flat, guys.
Yeah.
I wonder why they went yellow. Clinton, you must know. You've got an official's radio on.
We're just waiting. Josh Hill at the back was motioning to Ryan. There's a big problem. He said the last driver's waving his arms like crazy. You're going to see Josh Hill stop here and tell Ryan what the problem is and what he saw. They're going to move them over here. One push truck's going to go to the pits. Jesse Costa, when they went yellow, flattened that left front. Thought we were coming green, so Jesse's going to get his time. Doug said that one was on me. We were getting ready to come to 4, but I had to go yellow. And you see the safety truck going up to the wall, and Doug just said the 99, you get your spot back. You see the safety truck up on the outside wall. Big bar, I can't tell what it was, but the safety truck just picked something up. And Doug said, thank you, 99, for letting us know you get your spot back. And we'll try and see what it is.
So we'll take a quick break. Well, we're not going to commercial. Sorry, Daniel. I'm not trying to throw you off, but a quick break here to let Jesse Costa. Go ahead, Clint.
Yeah, it's a piece of debris. Looks like something off one of the push trucks or something is the case here. And this will be it. That'll be the issue. If you want, we'll take a quick break. Come right back here live on G-Force TV.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rearview mirror. Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedway.com.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV. All right, back live at Ohsweken Speedway on GeForce TV for Renway Energy Night. Jesse Costa has the left front tire changed. He will get his spot back. White flag has been displayed, and we will try this one all over again, Adam.
I had a comment that I'm interested in. Clint, I want your opinion on this, but someone asking if I wasn't around for the Dizzy Dean era. I don't remember ever hearing Dizzy Dean announced. I lived in the States as a kid. Clint, do you?
No, I'm not that old.
You're older than I am, you jerk.
Yeah, I never saw Dizzy Dean, but we're ready to get dizzy as Gledhill, and they call them pipes, will lead him off to turn 1.
Darren Dryden has that second spot. Van Every goes 3 wide down the backstretch with Smith and Mahoney. Mahoney goes into the third spot and back under the caution flag.
I don't think Doug Leonard liked the start there. So no, Dizzy Dean, a very important figure to Canadian racing.
7, you're going back a row. Front row fires together at chalk lines on original start.
So Gledhill getting penalized in the number 7 back 1 row. That'll put Darren Dryden to the point.
Yeah, you heard the end of it. Doug Leonard said you got to fire even at the chalk line. Here in turn number 4, felt that Eric left too early and left Mahoney in the dust. That's going to put the 12 of Darren Dryden on the front row with Van Every in the 77E.
Van Every's been doing an impressive job in that 77E. I mean, if you look at the credentials of some of the drivers in this class and where they have won championships in their career, I was really impressed with Van Every in his qualifying heat as well as he drove. But it's a tall order to start alongside Darren Dryden in the 12 double D.
Darren with 3 wins on the season. He leads in that category over Lucas Smith with a pair. We'll try it all over again. Darren Dryden, Ashton Van Every. Green flag goes up in the air and we're back at it.
Look like a better start from here. Look at Lucas Smith all the way to the outside in the 49L. 3 wide to take that second spot. Gledhill's not done. He'll power off the inside down the backstretch.
Brett Stratford making some moves. He's just outside of the top 5 now as he's working in that 6th spot right behind Ashton Van Every. Leader Darren Dryden out in front over Eric Gledhill. Here comes Lucas Smith by him.
Gledhill bobbled in turn number 2, slid up the track just enough for Lucas Smith to get to the inside, take over that spot.
So it's Darren Dryden out in front over Lucas Smith, Eric Gledhill, Steve Murdoch, Ashton Van Every, and Stratford now works his way into the top 5 as we've got Alan Downey pulling into the infield.
Alan Downey with troubles in that 19. Look at the back of the field. They're 3 wide, 4 wide, having to check up, take evasive action. Out in front, it's all Darren Dryden by more than half a straightaway over Lucas Smith. Brett Stratford just about clobbered the wall coming off of turn number 2. Lost some ground, but no positions.
Back of the pack is getting closer for Darren Dryden, and it is going to be a handful to maneuver his way through this one as the driver of the 3M DJD Graphics car number 12 DD is right there on the back of the pack. Oh, as Noel Teal's got problems on the front end of that car.
Oh, the wing has come all askew on that 14T, so I think otherwise she is able to stay out there and keep up to speed. I imagine it startled her.
Yeah, she really slowed up in front of the leader. Darren Dryden working through the lap traffic. He's right behind Erskine. Gets by Marshall, and now Noel Teal goes around, keeps a foot in the throttle, but the car is going to come to a stop now on the backstretch. That'll put us back under the caution flag. 6 laps on the board and 14 to go. Wild couple of laps for the driver of the Enrium Dynamics. Car number 14 of Noel Teal.
That gives a driver a much different feel when that front wing comes apart. I mean, these cars, it's all about balance. You get used to how the car performs with everything where it should be. when the front wing kicks up like that, in fact, it's worse because normally that front wing provides downforce to the front tires. When it flips up the way it is, it actually lifts the front tires, Clinton, right off the track. No LTL, a one-car spin, doing a nice job to get it 360 degrees all the way around, but that did draw the yellow flag, and Darren Dryden sees a big lead evaporate. I'm a little surprised that Jesse Costa has been running the bottom where everybody else is at the start of this race. I kind of figured he would go way up to the high side just for the fact that nobody else was up there.
Yeah, that's kind of where he makes up all his ground. That's where he likes to run up that top side, keep it wound up, but maybe thinking there's something down at the bottom to try.
But if you're 25th, 26th, and it's only a 20-lap race, you can only pick off a car or two on the bottom every lap or two. Up on the high side, what do I know? I'm up here. I'm a stupid announcer up here in the booth.
Well, you got that part right.
Yeah, I know. Jennifer's absolutely right. Rob Neely in that Radio Shuttle 74. I was watching him at the start of the race. He made some bold moves transferring out of the B main. He's up to the 13th spot.
$14 to go, still under the caution flag. Again, make sure you join us next Friday night, both here in person and also on G-Force. Jibs Action Sports presents the Brock Leonard Memorial for the Thunderstock's 50 laps for that. It's also an Instapanels duel on the dirt combined race. Sportsman Modifieds on the card, along with our crate sprints and mini stocks 360s. We'll have the night off in preparation for our two big shows on Monday 16th and Tuesday, Monday the 15th and Tuesday the 16th, as we come back to the green flag. Dryden, Smith, and Murdoch now in the top three.
Lucas Smith got a really good launch right behind Darren Dryden in the 12 double D, but Darren got into turn number one better. He'll drive away a little. Brett Stratford going to pick up a spot on the back straightaway in the BS 39. He's up to fourth.
Yeah, having a great season so far in that BS 39, and I was shocked tonight looking at the standings at the start of the evening. That's exactly where he is in the points as well. He's up to fourth this year. A solid campaign here. And Steve Murdoch, who's right in front of him, he's in the sixth spot in points. So two drivers who have really become contenders here at the Big O.
A lot of steady results for those two. And watching them work through 1 and 2, it is very hard. You got to have a lot of discipline to slow the car down like he is on the bottom to make sure you get the good drive off. But Brett Stratford doing a nice job in fourth as Murdoch looking for the second spot over Lucas Smith.
Here he goes to the outside of Smith, and that's no easy feat to get by Smith, who's been so good here this year. Does Murdoch have anything for Darren Dryden running that outside line? 10 and 10 to go. The 2M tracking down the 12 DD as he hits lap traffic.
And you can see what Lucas Smith is doing as Murdoch started to go by. Smith started to drive the car even harder, and it was the worst thing to do in that situation. Like, he's sailing it in, but he's losing all his bite off the turn just through sheer determination. He's able to stay close in that battle, but Murdoch closing in on slower traffic, and they're running in his line.
He'll get by Andrew Marshall into corner number 3, and now he's got the lap car of Travis Hofstetter in front of him, but here comes Lucas Smith to his inside, challenging for the runner-up spot. Brett Stratford's reeling these two drivers in.
Yeah, Stratford missed turn 3 a little bit that last lap, but he's back on it in 1 and 2. We'll make a move to the inside. Yellow flag is out. We got lots of activity.
Oh, boy.
Lucas Smith has never felt so fast as that time he passed 7 cars in 3 and 4.
That was entertaining.
It was something.
Well, it's been like this year for Darren Dryden. He's won 3 features, and on those nights, he's been the class of the field, and really hasn't had a lot of competition. It's looking like that is going to be the case tonight, but Steve Murdoch really turned it up there in that last run.
Steve Murdoch was our Ackland's Insurance Top Gun in the heat races earlier tonight. How excited are you for our Monday-Tuesday race here in a week and a half, Greg?
It's going to be a big show, and looking forward to it. And sprint car portion of it's pretty exciting now with Christopher Bell and Stuart Friesen in it, and of course To see the Pinty's cars, one was on the track last night. I guess it was Dave Bailey took it out for a spin. And who's he driving for? I heard some rumors last night, but
Randy Slack.
Okay,
Bobby
that is
Slack, Dave Jacobs.
Okay.
We have a look at this replay as they go down into the corner. Gledhill and Joshua Hill get together. Lance Erskine just narrowly gets around it. I feel as though, have you ever hosted an event, Greg, like thrown a party and you just feel like you have to stay focused on making sure people are entertained and they feel welcome? That's how I feel about this midweek show. We got a lot of people coming out who've never been to Ohsweken, never been to a dirt race, some of them, and we're bringing them into our little home here up on the res.
And thankfully, it's Clint that has to feel all the nerves of that. I'm sure it's a stressful time for him.
Nah.
We just have to come and do our...
He's had 3 years to build up to this. No, it's got to be. It's just a... And then with NASCAR, you've always got the layers of NASCAR. You have to talk to the people down south. You have to talk to the people up here, and then you have to talk to them again, and then you have to schedule a meeting to have a meeting for the meeting you're going to have a week before the race, even though everything's already set.
Well, you know my itinerary really well. That's what it's been like lately. And not to mention flying across the country to cover these races has kept us busy as well. But, yeah, super happy to be bringing all the guys home, and I think everybody's going to be shocked when they get here to see it.
I just think it's going to be a spectacle. It's going to be a party. You talk about the live music that's going to be here. That I think the atmosphere is going to be phenomenal, and there's going to be a lot of campers. And again, a lot of curious eyes. People who have never put an eyeball on a Dirt 360 race. Similarly, people who have never seen a NASCAR Pinty Series race. Well, let's go back to green. Darren Dryden in the 12, Double D, Steve Murdoch in the 2, Lucas Smith in the 49, Brett Stratford in the 39. We're off under green.
8 laps left to settle this one. Murdoch will try back upstairs. Lucas Smith behind him. Brett Stratford holding down 4th. And Eric Gledhill not out of it. How about Curtis Gartley with a solid 6th place run as well?
Smith trying to clear Murdoch in the 2 with a slide job. He couldn't get up in front of him. Murdoch fended that off. He'll try it again in 1 and 2. Murdoch up the track. We're under yellow. 1 around. That is Matt Hill in the MK8.
So we'll knock 1 more lap off the board there. 7 to go. Some other drivers having solid performances. Jordan Hill up there in the 7th spot. Seth Roy looking really good in the 8th position. Ashton Van Every holding in the top 10. And Rob Neely once again, 10th spot.
Yeah, good run for Rob Neely. A lot of conversation going on about Jack Burgess and how he was the voice of a lot of things dirt. He was also the voice of Ohsweken Speedway, so you had him at Rolling Wheels on a Friday night, Ohsweken Speedway on a Saturday, Weed Sport on a Sunday, and of course all of Super Dirt Week as we watch Matt Hill go around while battling with Tyler Ward. But that's how I grew up going to the races. Like I didn't understand how people only go to dirt tracks or only go to paved tracks. We did a lot of Rolling Wheels and Weed Sport and a lot of Ohsweken. But that was just the normal thing to do.
We were dirt track snobs. So close to getting to Ohsweken and still have never been there. It like hit everything around it. I absolutely love Brewerton. I don't know what it is about that place.
No. And you know what's funny? It's Brewerton, if you look at it and then look at Merrittville Speedway, they seem really similar, but they don't race the same at all. I enjoy Merrittville, but nothing like I do Brewerton.
And I always loved, what night would it have been, the Wednesday or the Thursday night of Super Dirt Week? Thursday. There was just something about the atmosphere there. It was phenomenal.
You race up there from the mile after qualifying. Yeah, everything is different about Super Dirt Week these days, but it's still pretty damn cool. I like to think I'm going to get down to it this year. The campgrounds aren't the same since it went to Ohsweken. There's a lot of great things about it, but it's not the New York State Fairgrounds. But the racing is better.
It'll be here before we know it. Season quickly winding down as we're already into August. Before you know it, we'll be to Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, the traditional weekend in September. We don't want to forget that as well coming up. All the best to the races still to come.
I could have swore there was 14 laps complete at the last restart.
We're subtracting. Green back out. Dryden has a lead, but Murdoch just keeps trying that outside line, trying to get the run. Smith and Stratford still in that fight for the third position as we come down. Now it's lap 14.
Stratford having to time things. Lucas Smith was running the same line, so Stratford having to bite the brakes. Trouble for Lucas Smith. He just about lost it between 1 and 2. Stratford squeaks by on the inside. Brett Stratford up to third. Out front, it's all Darren Dryden. Let's see if Stratford can close in on Murdoch for that second spot.
He's running the same line as Darren Dryden. Murdoch's been very committed to that outside line. Have to see if that gap closes at all. Right now, 0.773 seconds. We'll see at the line if anything gains. I don't think he did that time. He had a hard time off of 4, and it's just over a second now, the difference.
Brett Stratford under attack from Gledhill into number 7. I think Gledhill might be doing a better job of running the high groove even than Murdoch, but slower traffic up ahead. This will have an effect as Darren Dryden to the inside of Marshall on the front stretch.
3 laps left to go. Dryden picks off Marshall. Now has Keegan Baker and Travis Hofstetter in front. Dryden again has to get on the brakes, and this is going to box him in a little bit. Can Murdoch and Stratford get there? 2 laps left to go.
Stratford to the inside of Murdoch. He'll try to get to the inside of Marshall, down into 1. Side by side for second.
Murdoch comes out on top on the back stretches. We got a slow one down to the inside of corner number 3, and I think that's going to put us under the caution flag. Yes, it will, with a couple of laps left.
Lucas Smith drove it into 3 like he was a cannonball.
So Ashton Van Every, who started on the outside of the front row, had a good solid top 10 run going, comes to a stop down to the low side of 3 and 4. Clinton Jeffries headed down that way to see Ashton, who's about to get a push.
For those, go ahead, Clint.
He says he's done, just needs a push back to the pits, guys. Looks like he's loosening the belts. This will be all for Van Every.
So for those asking, the crate sprint car division, of course, runs the GMC 602 crate engine with a few modifications for this application, but basically everybody has the same horsepower. And man, oh man, does it produce some good racing. I mean, this has been entertaining here tonight. Darren Dryden with a great start. He's been up to all challenges, but watching Stratford, Murdoch, Gledhill, Lucas Smith, look at who is up there. Is Jesse Costa running 6th?
Yes, he is. Yep, he's right behind Lucas Smith, just outside of the top 5. Started back in 25th.
I mean, Rob Neely had a big run as well on that 74 machine. I was not watching. I mean, I watched earlier on thinking, man, I thought Costa'd be making up more spots, but he wasn't.
Well, even on that last rundown where I looked through the top 10 and mentioned some of the drivers having a good run, I don't think he was in the top 10 at that point, and that was only a handful of laps ago. So he's made up a lot of ground here in a short amount of time. And this is the first that we'll get to see Brett Stratford now start behind Darren Dryden. Does he have anything? He's been running the same line as the 12DD.
If there's anything Stratford is going to be able to do, in my opinion, it's get to the inside. He's been able to hug the inside tighter than anybody else we have watched. So if Dryden slips up off the bottom, Stratford will be right there to drive it to the inside. But Darren Dryden so far has not made many mistakes here tonight.
Coming back to the green with 2 laps left to go. Brett Stratford stays right there on the tail tank. Green lights go on. Here we go. 2 laps left to settle it. Stratford will throw it into 1.
Stratford drove it a little bit straighter down into the turn, but Darren Dryden knew exactly what he wanted, and he gets a great launch off the corner as they race towards the white flag.
1 lap left to go. 4 wins possibly here for Darren Dryden on the season. What a year it's been for him.
Stratford holding down second. Here comes Murdoch and Smith going at it for third.
Lucas Smith trying to make that run for third. It's a 3-horse race. Out in front, it's Darren Dryden. He's going to take the win. Brett Stratford second. Third goes to Murdoch.
Smith will get fourth. Fifth goes to Eric Gledhill. Jesse Costa will wind up in the 6th spot. Curtis Gartley 7th. 8th Rob Neely. 9th Jordan Hill. And 10th for Seth Roy. Good solid run for him in the top 10 tonight. So Darren Dryden for the 4th time this season will go to Quick Victory Lane in the 3M DJD Graphics car number 12 Double D. Brett Stratford 2nd, Steve Murdoch 3rd. So some fresh faces up on the podium.
Always good to see. And how about that? We had a lot of yellow flags here tonight, and still 10:35 p.m. a 4-division show with over 100 cars. Nicely run program by Doug Leonard and the rest of the team. And we head to Victory Lane with Clinton Jeffrey, who's there to greet Darren Dryden, Brett Stratford, and Steve Murdoch.
Dryden will waste no time getting out of here of the 12 Double D machine as the Lone Wolf fireworks light up the sky so beautifully right behind us. And we'll get him out here to have a quick word. And then we'll talk to Brett Stratford and Steve Murdoch as well. Murdoch's had a solid night. Started the night as the Ackland Insurance Top Gun Award winner. Finds himself 3rd here on the podium tonight. Darren Dryden out of the 12 Double D. How about it, fans, for the winner of the Crate Sprint Car for the 4th time this season, Darren Dryden. Darren, solid drive. A lot of yellows there kept you honest as this one, but a good drive here, man. 4 on the year. That's a heck of a season.
Yeah, it's honestly going a heck of a lot better than we planned. This is just incredible. I got to thank all that Steve Gary does, as well as my father, John Dryden. It's just unbelievable what they're able to provide me with each night and give me the, the best car out here, and I just got to do my job and drive it. So it's awesome.
Right on. Darren Dryden grabs the one. We'll get over here and talk to Brett Stratford. Brett, there were a few nights we should have been talking to you here, but you let it slip away in that last 100 or so yards. Tonight, you were not to be denied. Are you getting the handle of the Ohsweken Speedway here?
No, not at all. I owe everything to Paul Klager. We went out of whack with this car. He came over and showed us what we were doing wrong. And I honestly wouldn't be here without Tom Downey either. He does everything for me. I literally just pay the bills. That's it.
Right on, Brett. You're getting a handle on that, looking better each week.
Thank you.
Brett Stratford, an up-and-comer here trying to get it done. We'll get over here and talk to Steve Murdoch and wrap up Victory Lane here. We do have a couple 2-seater rides still coming up. Steve, solid night for you, man. You can end up in, start here with the Top Gun Award win, end up with 3rd tonight. That's a great night here. Any night you can be on the concrete twice in one night at the Big O.
Yeah, it's pretty unreal. Wasn't expecting to be on here twice tonight, but it happened.
Some good hard battles with Lucas there at the end. He threw a slider at you, able to come back around. Just got to keep your patience, right?
Oh, yeah, I started to lose it a bit at the end there, but just kept the car under me and was able to get back underneath him.
Right on. Murdoch will finish 3rd. 2nd place with Brett Stratford, and your winner here for the 4th time this season, Darren Dryden, guys. That'll wrap things up from Quick Victory Lane.
Another great night of racing action, Adam. Can't complain, and we got it all in. Weatherman played nice.
Yeah.
On to next week.
Mother Nature played along real nice. We weren't sure what was going to go on when we showed up here tonight, but what went on was a fantastic night of racing. It's the most character the racetrack has had all season long, but given the weather, that's no big surprise.
Don't forget, next week it's the Brock Leonard Memorial for the Thunderstocks. 50 laps the distance, their biggest race of the year. Plus, Sportsman will be here. Crate Sprints and Mini Stocks 360s will have the night off. So that will wrap things up. On behalf of the Stiers family, all our staff, officials, and crew, we want to thank them for all that they do to bring us our race nights each and every week. And on behalf of Clinton, Jeffrey, Adam Ross, I'm Greg Kelman saying so long. We'll see you next time here on G-Force TV.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of G-Force TV. G-Force TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.